Hello, friends of Skele Vader, and welcome to episode, what is it, guys? Episode 19 or 18?
I forgot to look. 18.
18. Episode 18 of Toy Frenzy.
I believe so.
Who cares anymore? We're having so much fun with this that it doesn't matter. We could be 200.
Well, it says 19 right there on our screen. Yeah, it says 19.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, so episode 19, folks. Okay. And this is a good one. We've got two of our favorite Joes joining us tonight, which is really exciting. We got Joe AMATO and MOTU JOE. Good to have these guys.
We'll have to change the name to Joe AMOTU.
Thanks. Thanks for that.
Ouch.
Way to curse me again. Can't escape it.
I know.
There's going to be a lot of cursing tonight with language and in the mystic realm of the supernatural. So it's going to be happening.
All unintentionally.
Absolutely. All unintentionally. We will try, but it'll happen. So we're really excited to have these guys joining us tonight. We're going to spend a lot of time tonight talking about why Masters of the Universe fans are in this to begin with, which is the vintage figures, which is what we all love so much. And if you watch MOTU JOE on YouTube or on Facebook, and if you watch Joe AMATO on YouTube with fans of power and interact with him on Facebook as well, you know that they love the vintage stuff. They love Masters of the Universe. They both have amazing collections, and they both do creative things with MOTU. So we're
with what? with Masters of the Universe, you said?
Masters.
Okay.
We're already started.
I said
don't
MOTU.
laugh, Joe. This is shit. This is shit. This is terrible. I've hated that word. Can I go into a rant? Can I do it, please?
You can do it now. So for those of you that don't know, Joe has a very specific feeling about the thing that we won't say right now.
All right.
MOTU?
Oh my God. All right. This is a pass. I'm only going to say the word a couple times because I'm holding this from Kenzo's collections where he turned this into Battle Moat 2. Get it? Moat and then a U after. That could have worked. Now I'll say why I hate this word. Okay. When we were growing up, now Joe, you got to answer me. When you had the kids, your buddies coming over and play, what did you tell them that you want to come over and play? You're going to come play He-Man. We're going to watch He-Man. You rarely even said Master of the Universe. You didn't say, you guys want to come over and play MOTU? Nobody said this shit. This came when the internet came around and people didn't want to keep typing Masters of the Universe. So it's quicker to do MOTU because it was quicker in chats, quicker in searches on eBay and Google and wherever. So people started saying out loud, I was like, I want to choke somebody, including myself, because I can't stand this fucking word. I hate it so much that my buddies started nicknaming me MOTU JOE online, and I hated it. And they carried it into a podcast I did called What Geeks Do, and they seriously knew I didn't like it. I was like, guys, you guys, please give me another name. I said, I don't watch trailers to movies or TV shows. I like being surprised when that stuff comes out. And they said, we're going to call you No Trailer Joe. And I was like, thank God I escaped this. And then 2 years later, my buddy Joe here comes along, and he fucking called himself MOTU JOE. I was like, damn it. So now I got to hear it again. And there's people that thought, Joe, why do you wear a mask? I've seen you unmasked plenty of times doing videos on Facebook. I said, that's the other Joe. That isn't. See, now he's laughing because he knows that shit. Thanks, Joe, for that. Go ahead. Now you say something, Joe, about that. Damn it, that fucking name.
I think it's kind of interesting timing that around the same time MOTU JOE came about, there was a flurry of MOTU Gefter, MOTU Mike, MOTU Jeff, MOTU Jim, MOTU Bob, MOTU blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, Mr. AMATO must be just having the field day today.
Oh, I hate it. And then we see over here, we have Bobby. It's a vintage He-Man because I'm not calling him by that fucking name there.
Hey, I came up with that name so people can, follow me on Twitter and understand what my Twitter account was. And then the name stuck. Plus, you can only get so many characters. I can't call it Vintage Masters of the Universe.
You could have said Vintage He-Man. They get the gist of it. Vintage He-Man. That works. It's like the same people that say mock. You can't say mint on card when you're speaking out loud because, there's MIP, which is mint in package, mint in box. Do you hear people say Mib and Mip? Nope, but they say mock. It's like, just say mint on card. But hey, if anybody likes saying mock or MOTU, more power to you. I just can't fucking stand it. But I love all you guys. So how's it going?
Tonight's show is now called MOTU Mock. frenzy.
Well, it's even more appropriate because I own Mock Masters. So
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yep.
Is there something, a bucket I could throw up in now?
Yeah. Well, MOTU Joe, why don't you go ahead and talk about Mock Masters and Retro Rags? That would be awesome.
Yeah.
For those who don't know about that.
Sure. It's Retro Rag started off. I'll try to do abridged versions of both, but Retro Rag started off with me not wanting to get rid of old T-shirts. I wanted to upcycle those things, so I cut off all the meaningful pieces of the T-shirt and applied them to a hoodie. Everywhere I went, someone wanted something like that, so I decided, all right, well, let me try to create that service, which led to finding a surplus of vintage patches, which led to shirt transfers, which eventually led to doing T-shirts and using fan art from the community and working with different Facebook groups, which led to working with Rancid, which led to TV shows, Plastic Crack, Action Figure Adventure, which led to licensing with the Four Horsemen and Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions. There's a few other things that we've done as white label projects for some pretty big names. And it's a passion play that is getting to the point where, you know, it's turning into something pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Mock Masters was a kind of we wanted product that we couldn't find and couldn't get. So it was more or less a necessity, if you will, in our eyes. So we simply went and created a product that was readily available, that was different in the sense that it was in stock, US made, UV protected. And that was really the unique factor that no other case provided. And then we proceeded to create 6 different product SKUs from Masters of the Universe, including which we call a 5.5 inch and 3 3/4 inch for GI Joe size, Ninja Turtles, deluxe size cases for Masters, as well as the Wacky Action Turtles and the tall GI Joe cases. We have 6 different product SKUs, and early next year, probably end of January. We were hoping to have it end of December, but it'll probably be end of January. We'll have our Ghostbusters case available and out. So we'll have 7 product SKUs in realistically less than a year and a half. So we're doing well. We're moving along, and we've kept everything here locally sourced, including our raw material and the extrusion and the process of making the plastic UV safe is all done here in West Michigan.
I think that's awesome. If any of you watching collect stuff mint on card, you know, you should contact Mock Masters and buy some of those. They are beautiful, by the way. I've seen them. I haven't bought any for myself because I pretty much open everything.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, it's not. I get it. It started off with mint on card, Mock Masters, because that was the premise of it. But the demand for loose is every week we get requests for it. So we'll eventually have loose offerings, more than likely early in Q1 of next year as well. And we also have, I think, 13 or 15 different shows that we're going to be going to next year. So we'll be out and about quite a bit next year in the public.
Nice.
That's
where we first met at PowerCon 2021 in Anaheim, I think. Yeah. Had a good time there. The dude,
it was cool.
Introduced us.
Yeah, it's gonna wind up. I'm excited. Are you gonna come to PowerCon this year?
Haven't made that decision yet because I'm out in California. It really depends on a lot of things, but I want to. You know, we've talked about it briefly on this show, how it's exciting, but I don't know. We'll see. Bobby, you're in Arizona. Are you thinking about going?
I'm not sure yet. I might. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
All depends on August, what we're doing by that time.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
How
I haven't committed yet to nothing.
Right.
How about you, Joe? When are you going to make an appearance?
You know, I could have been gone all these years and nobody knows because I wear this mask. I could be just incognito, just walking around, seeing you, taking pictures off to the side, and nobody knows. But there'll be a year I'm sure I'll make it. Of course.
Yeah, you just look for the guy that looks like Stratos, and then that's Joe. That's why he hides his face.
Worst character in Masters history. God, well, he was so fun to play with when you were a kid, huh? You know, everybody else had weapons and gimmicks, and that were supposed to be real powerful. Then you had dipshit go.
Hey,
that was so exciting.
I've told you this before. I like winged characters. You know, I was a big fan of Flash Gordon. I loved the Hawkman. And then when Stratos came out, I got him. He was like one of the first figures I ever got when I was a kid. So
yeah, Stratos.
Hey, wake up there, pal, and uncross your arms. You're in my presence.
I'm sorry. Yeah, keep talking about this shitty character. What a fucking horrible character.
Oh, no.
He might be cool in the cartoon, but God, as a vintage toy, I hated that shit. I mean, I never played with him. He literally sat off to the side because I was like, this just isn't exciting going back and forth. What does he do? Now, the 2000X figure, at least they jazzed him up. He looked a lot better, but God, did I hate that vintage figure. But I'm glad you liked him.
Did you get that exclusive 2-pack, The Best Friends?
What?
Oh,
now you're trying to sucker me into doing. Okay, all right. I guess that's all right there.
All the love.
Yep.
One side of that was okay.
About my best friend.
God.
Oz, are you gonna go to PowerCon?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it. You know, working again. Got some money coming in. See how things go. It'd be great to get some live Toy Frenzy coverage at the con.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys end up going, I'll go.
All right.
Guys end up going.
It's fun. I
So
know there's been mixed emotions and conversations on both sides of the fence.
Yep.
And yes, I know I'm biased because I'm just enamored with the event and everything.
Yeah.
But it's I think this next year is going to be really, really, really another major big step. I mean, it was almost like starting from ground zero, but it wasn't. I mean, there was still a foundation there, but you picked up the foundation and moved it, and it caused disruption. And everybody that I know that went, they're less than 5%. Let's even put in a higher number than what I actually think I saw. Less than 5% was of a negative comment or negative feelings of it. It's 95% positive. They're super excited. There's a lot more things that I know Val has planned or wants to do with the show. He's been upfront about it, you know, in public speak. You know, I think those things are going to manifest. I think it's going to become a big show. And I'm excited for this next year. I think it's going to be a really big jump this year.
And for those that have been going since the beginning, it'll always represent Masters of the Universe, whether it's focused on Masters or not. It'll always be that in our hearts.
People knew what they were in for when they were going this year. I mean, when you seen it online, they knew that it wasn't going to be purely Masters of the Universe centric, and they weren't going to have like exclusive items. They knew that, you know, from the jump once they started seeing all the stuff that was, you know, in social media. But anybody I knew that went, it was the same thing. They figured, okay, it's like almost family friendly because a lot of the friends that you know are going, and you just have a camaraderie with them. You're having a good time. You're collecting toys. And even if it's not all Masters and there wasn't exclusives, I didn't see anybody that said, wow, that really sucked. You know, at least in the community where I was looking, everybody looked like they enjoyed it. They knew what they were in for.
Yeah.
And you're what's different than just some of the other toy shows and things like that is that they're manufacturers there. You know, NECA is there. And the decision makers of some of these companies and entities, you know, are there. And then after that, meaning after the doors close, there's not official after parties, but gatherings and get-togethers and all. And you're rubbing elbows and talking to these people that it's just that you don't get when you go to a San Diego Comic-Con. That's not going to happen. It's not, but it can at PowerCon. And it's really
like Timothy Clark, or worked on Sectars and Boglins, and him being there, and people you got to meet a lot of people that you never thought you would ever in your life. So that has to be an incredible feeling, and I'm sure it's a blast going to PowerCon.
Yeah, the one thing that upset me is when it first came out, I was living in Chicago, and I couldn't get to California. Then I moved to Arizona, but I couldn't afford to go. And then I was like, I was finally going to go this past year. Yeah. And then they freaking moved it to freaking Ohio. So
it's running from you. It's running from you, Bobby.
It took me 5 hours to drive there. And now I got to fly all the way back towards home. back home that way.
And I empathize. I do. I seriously do. But I also am going like, oh, it's my time now. It's my time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If you're in Michigan, right?
That makes
I don't
sense.
miss the cold. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I grew up in Arizona. I grew up in Phoenix.
Oh, did you? So we flopped sides.
Yep. Yep. And let me tell you, that first winter here sucked. Was not good. Not good. Now you're just kind of used to it.
Yeah.
It's cold, but it just now started to snow, so it's not that bad yet.
Okay. Yeah, it hasn't been too bad this year for you guys yet.
So Oz and Bobby, should we go through our chat and say hello to all the folks that have been talking to each other over there?
Yeah, definitely.
We've been going live for a couple of minutes now. Why don't we, actually say hey to everybody?
We got to give Gamer Bud a shout out first because apparently I've been missing his intro hellos the past 2 weeks. So sorry about that, Gamer Bud. He has a Patreon too, so apologies, my friend. He had to give us all nicknames, but he avoided my giving me a nickname, though my nickname's pretty darn cool already, I think. But yeah, so welcome to it, Gamer Bud. Good to see you.
Thank you, Gamer Bud.
Yep.
Earlier, we got a message really early from Hillian Dread at 5 o'clock Pacific. Got to let us know that there are some Origins figures, Wave 5, 7, and 9 for $10 on Amazon. I haven't had a chance to
That's
look
good.
at that yet,
That's a good deal. Okay.
Yeah.
I tell you what, keep rolling through. I'll see about bringing it up.
Ooh, yeah.
Show it off
awesome.
a little.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Oz. And we got El Tenda here. I don't know if any of you guys watch.
What's up, El Tenda?
Yep.
He's awesome, man. He's awesome.
He's a good guy.
We got me in there. What else? We got Gamer Bud again. Oh, we got Thanos Copter. Do you guys know Thanos Copter? He's awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
Welcome to it. Giraffe. Nice to see you. Cheers, my friend. We also got Jay Peregrine joining us. Good to see you. And then we also have Duchess of Darkness, of course. Welcome to it again, Duchess.
I want to say something. Duchess did a fabulous job working with Rob on Masters on the Mini Comics, doing the Sorceress. Yeah. Man, that was fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
It was really, really good.
Great job.
Yeah.
And we got Ronald Embry here. Good to see you, Ronald. Oh, and we got Masters of the Mini Comics here.
There he is.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And Nolan, of course. How's it going, Nolan? I feel like Nolan and Ray were both over watching Mega J's live shopping video at this right before we went on here. So it's good to see them hopping over here too. And then they're all talking to each other. Let's see. Oh, and we got Hillian Dread popping back in. And Jenny K.
Hey, that's my baby. That's Jenny. Hey, let me say something. Not that I'm gonna do a cheap plug for her, but I have something. Look at this incredible thing. Look at this amazing giant Stay Puft plushie she did. Gigantic. I won this thing, but she does incredible plushies. Yes, she has her own page, My Little Plushies. She's made Masters of the Universe, Thundercats, anything you could think of, she's done. And she did 2 life-size, I don't mean life-size like for us, but I guess 2 playset size of Castle Grayskulls. She does amazing work, but yeah, my baby did this. So how you doing, baby? Love you. It's incredible.
That's killer. That's really cool.
Yeah,
thank you.
Grayskull sounds amazing.
It does.
Yeah, check her out. My Little Plushies. You can find her on Facebook.
I really love that idea.
I'm gonna write that down because that's how I do it, old school.
Yeah, her work is incredible. It's so different when you hold it in your hand for the first time. It's like wow. So yeah.
So is she gonna make you a Stratos one?
Oh dear God!
Cuddle up with.
Could you imagine that's the surprise one? Here you go, baby. Like, oh my God, and I can't reject it. It's from her. It's like this is great. Thanks.
Now you're stuck sleeping with it every night.
Yeah, you're giving her ideas now.
We're gonna put a link to My Little plushie down there underneath this video for those that are watching.
Thank you, Skele Vader. I appreciate that.
Yeah, make sure I do that tonight. I'll try not to forget.
Let's we could plug it in the chat real quick, and I could.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
I appreciate that. Yeah. She's
Yeah.
still got to put more things up on there. Like all of her work isn't there, but I mean, what you see, she's got so many incredible pieces, and yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, happy to.
Yeah, I'll definitely do it.
I love stuff like that. MOTU Bud, who is a gamer, so Gamer Bud changed his name.
Oh God, he had to do it. Thanks, Gamer Bud. God, everybody's gonna do it in the chat now.
Between Masters of the Universe Bud, who is a gamer for tonight's show. Let's see.
Yeah, I almost wanted to take a bet as to how many Motus we'll see in the chat, just because of the Motu version of Joe.
Oh my God, that'd be terrible if everybody did that to their name in the chat. It's like, man,
Oh yeah, now you're encouraging them.
I know.
no, it's like now I wouldn't be able to look. I'd
Oh,
have to go like this. So I'm always blocking.
It's happening. It's happening.
Oh God.
Maybe someday you should change your mask and just have like Motu on it with the Ghostbusters no over.
Yeah, I like that exactly. Right.
That's how you do it.
Oh,
Joe,
yeah.
what was her site again? I'm gonna bring it up.
Oh yeah, what is
My
it?
Little Plushies. My Little Plushies.
Is it
You can find-
mylittleplushies.com or?
Oh no, it's you can find through Facebook, and if I'm not mistaken, Instagram. Just go through Facebook, Instagram, look up My Little Plushies, and you'll
Cool.
see what she's got. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
I don't think she has Twitter yet. She's probably gonna get a Twitter one, I think she said, but right now it's Facebook and Instagram.
That's awesome. You know, we're real
Well, I-
advocates for do it yourself,
Yes.
make your things here in this channel. You know, I make stuff. We all make stuff, and we love it when we find out that more people are out there making things that are.
Oh yeah,
that are,
it's always great to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
I live through you guys because I don't know how to do any of that stuff. So
Yeah, because like with my customs, I've been doing that for 13 years straight, and that's my full-time job is making customs. I never thought I'd do anything like that either. I used to work in a factory, and I was there for X amount of years, and when it closed, I was like, God, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I don't want to do this work no more. And I was on, I think it was eBay, and I seen somebody made like a custom imp, and I was like, whoa, they never had an imp back in the day. That's kind of cool. And it sold for X amount of dollars. I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this. I've never tried this stuff before, and I did an imp, and it sold, and I was like, huh. I could take this seriously. There's hundreds, close to thousands of things, Masters of the Universe and other properties never been made. And I just started learning more and more, and I'm always trying to perfect my craft, because I'm not saying I'm absolutely perfect with my customs, but I try to learn something different every time. And it's just great because it's led to a lot of different opportunities and meeting celebrities and other stuff. So it's a great job. I never thought I'd do anything like this.
yeah, like I told you, I'm gonna get something from you starting next year.
Nice.
Obviously next month, but I'm hoping like a Black Star or something. Not him, but the villains or something.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
You can just like Joe just said there. He took a stab at it and then eventually moved up. If you find something you want to do the same thing. Take a stab at it and work your way up.
Yeah, see, because I've been playing drums since I was 15 years old, so my hands are shaky and I can't get to it.
That's what, so I don't know, Joe Amato, I never told you this, but when I first started making master stuff, when I first started working on the play sets the big giant play sets that I started making, I was looking at what you were doing, and I was like, man, if somebody can do this and turn this IP into something unique, then I can friggin' do it. And MOTU Joe is right here, that like, I didn't know, I'd never built a diorama before, and then you just decide this is something I'm going to teach myself. And also Joe, like Joe Teague, you were talking about cutting old T-shirts out and pasting them to sweaters and stuff like that, because you don't want those T-shirt designs to go away. Like, we just figure out a way to make it. And also, Bobby, I tried painting figures. I can't, because I got shaky hands too. So that's why I do the bigger stuff. So you just pick a thing you want to make and just decide to do it, right?
Well, I'll discuss with Amato, and he can guide me.
Yeah,
Stuff.
there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, you just
we
like I
just-
said, and it's true. You never give up. I mean, if you
Yeah.
have a dream, or even if it's something you never knew, that would come to you, just like with me and how you said that, Skelly. It's just you don't know what's going to happen, but never let people discourage you. That's the thing.
Oh, no,
Some
I'm
people
not
always,
doing
yeah,
that. I'm
yeah.
more discouraging myself.
Well, always just try to
No,
believe
I
in
got
things
it.
you can
I
do.
got what you said.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
heard
'cause
what you
it's-
said.
Yeah, because some people, like, not to sound corny, but it's like, really, you never give up. You just keep going because you don't know where life is going to lead you. And it can
Yeah.
lead you to the most amazing places. So
Right.
always just chase anything. Yeah.
That's right.
I like to learn. As silly as that
gonna
sounds, I always
say.
like to learn. And I failed
Yep.
too. 0G displays. I
Yeah.
figured out cool levitation. I learned how to, glue acrylic, and it worked on some level to make Orko float. That was great. But Serpentor and his chariot worked beautifully, but it just didn't, but it also led me to meet Rob Lambdo on a more professional level, and then work together a little bit too. So, it's cool. Take a stab at it.
Yeah, that's just like how I've been doing like podcasts recently and working on this show too with Skelly and Oz. Joe helped me out a lot with that. And I was discussing him offline, and we talked about things, and so hopefully maybe someday I'll get into it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll try something. I'll make something. I'll show it to you guys, and you let me know.
You got Bobby.
Okay.
Make your dreams come true, Bobby. Make your dreams come true.
That's right.
Life-size Stratos.
Is that when I do the unfriend, block button, all that shit? Like, okay, that was a nice ride. That's done
Yeah,
now.
then you'll call me up the next day. Hey man, guess what? This.
That's right.
All right, I'm going to continue with the chat because we got some other folks in here that popped in. S.J. Curtis, welcome. Thank you for being here. And we got Ray from Collecting Classics here. Good to see you. Jeff Howard joining in. Good to see you, Jeff Howard.
Hey.
And let's see. Am I missing anybody? I don't want to miss anybody. That's my thing.
Yeah, it does. When you get after the show, you go back through and you see something, you're like, oh man.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Brick Something's here. Merry X-Men, y'all. And Kenzo's Collections. Good to see you. Nice.
That's great.
Kenzo, right here, man. Thanks again for turning my Battle Mode 2 into a reality. That's an awesome little bastard. Posable legs, posable jaw. He did an amazing job on this little sucker. So thanks
That's
again,
killer.
man. Really appreciate it. Yeah, he sent me this. I
Definitely.
painted it up, and damn, I love this little sucker. Got to get more other ones.
Yeah,
Gotta
I should
have
have wore
them.
my shirt of yours. I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
Perfectly timed, Kenzo, popping in when we were talking about doing it yourself, man. So glad
That's
to
right.
be here.
He's got a whole lot that
Yeah.
he's doing over there.
So Oz, were you able to find did you find any deals on Amazon?
Well, so what I did was I went to Amazon and I actually pulled it up for $25 and under, and
Oh,
they've
okay.
got quite a few good ones on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and share it, and we're all gonna take a look at what givings they have right now for under 25 Masters of the Universe Origins. I didn't look up total just Masters of the Universe, but you see
Okay.
right there, if you guys are missing 2000X Skeletor, he's down to 1049.
Mhm.
He's
Now,
got a great
Clawful's still a
face,
little
though.
pricey. Yeah,
Yeah,
he does.
Clawful's-
He is really gorgeous.
Yeah. I didn't realize how cool that 2000X Mike Young Productions Skeletor's face sculpt was until I saw it in person. It's really awesome in person.
Yeah, I like the teeth. I don't like the way the hood sets on the neck, but I get why
Yeah,
it has to do what it does. But yeah, I honestly didn't notice it until I saw I didn't know everything else was on sale, but a couple days ago I saw this one on sale. And I
Yeah,
had to
because
clear
remember, it's like the
cart.
2000X figure, how they tried to do that same design.
Yeah.
Did you ever
and
see
I
his
noticed
peanut
the
head, Joe? Did you ever
bangs.
see that peanut head underneath when you take off the hood on the 2000X figure? His head is like microscopic for that Skeletor. It's always weird to me. It was one of the weirdest things is that head. And that's unfortunate. It's a line that like some people either loved 2000X, hated, had mixed
I love
feelings. But yeah, I mean, but there's no doubt that the the stactions they did, absolutely breathtaking. I love every single one of them because they got to showcase more of their sculpting and details and didn't have to keep everything in the same pretty much scale of the same size. You get to have some big, huge clawful and tongue lasher, and man, those stactions are some of my favorites.
Those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only one I have is Clawful. That's the only one.
Oh, he's a beast.
Yeah,
So's the
he's
giant
awesome.
statue. Do you have the giant statue of him? That is amazing.
No, I don't.
I got that sucker up there. You could kill somebody with that. It's heavy.
Yeah,
I mean,
Finally, it took a long time, but I finally got the whole collection of those. Oh no, sorry, I'm missing the standard He-Man from that NECA full size scale. But
is that the one where he's
man.
standing? The one with the axe and the shield? Well, hold on. I don't know if I can even get that up there. Like that one way up there, maybe, or no? Is it showing?
I can see it, but I can't make it out. He's the standard release one. Basically, there's two He-Man releases.
Yeah,
one where it's on the pet, where it's signed by the Four Horsemen, and then there's another one where it's not signed by the Four Horsemen. It's on like a green, he's half standing up type of thing.
Yeah, because there was
one.
there was that one, and then there was the one where he has like a different pose, and it's like okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Kenzo. I appreciate that.
So that's I got Triclops a little bit ago. The first one I got was Sorceress, but the trap door, the Grayskull door was the hardest and last piece to get, and to be fair, one of the most expensive pieces I got.
Yeah.
But
do you have any rare numbers for, like, you know how they number those 1 to whatever amount? Do you have any like a number 1? Because I actually have the Zodak bust that I have is actually the number 1 out of
that's killer.
the run.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a couple. I think I have a couple APs, but that just means they're within the first 100 or something signed by the artist. I forgot what, but I have a couple APs, but otherwise, I don't think anything really low. Not like that. Not a 1. Not in He-Man, at least. I have a 1 of 1. In Dragon Ball Z, the only one in existence. I have 1 of those, but not in He-Man.
Do you have the rare battle Motu though? Do you have that?
No.
You're out of luck then. You lose.
I love how Motu gets Joe Amato to say Motu every time.
It's the only way I could say it. That's the only way. They missed the opportunity. They could have put a U, and I would have said it all the time. Oh, how much is the trooper? 10?
Well, GamerBud said click on him to see how much he's going for. Doesn't look like he's down that low.
Yeah, I only got 1 of those, and we need 2. You need 2. You need him to be flanking.
And I like that they give it a slight silverish, look to it, a metal look. I kind of like that. You can't really see it as well in that picture, but in person, in hand, you can see it a lot better.
Yeah, I didn't notice it. I honestly didn't notice the metallic finish until I had it in hand. It somehow eluded me the whole time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So just clicking through here because GamerBud had suggested actually clicking on Skeletor to see a bunch of other ones.
I love that trap jaw.
Yeah. He comes off way more pirate-like.
Just the green trap jaw in general, I like it. I mean, he had the power. That's freaking awesome.
I missed out on it.
I just think it's cool.
Could it have been too much for them to just give us the open hand over here? Not like the whole hand, but the gripping hand. Like, really, guys? Could it just give us the gripping hand?
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
I had to give us that one.
I like the fist.
Yeah, I do too. It's a little different for him.
Yeah. Joe, didn't you see Anti-Attorney He-Man popping up over at Ollie's? Cheap? Or was that
$5?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they had some deals.
Looks like I need to head
Still
over
haven't
to
seen him
Ollie.
in store either.
Hey, there he is.
Is he free? Are they giving him away for nothing?
There's one that's cheap.
Pretty close. $11.90.
God, what a shit-tastic figure. Who wants that? Nobody.
So how many of those do you have, Joe? A whole bucket full?
All right, well, I unfortunately have 1. I do, but I don't have any more. But I had to get the 1. Oh, by the way, did you guys I'm sure, I didn't know if you guys knew, like some of the later runs of the Castle Grayskull place that came with the better knees of the sorceress, the Temple of Darkness sorceress. Yep. So there's like 2 versions. There's the one with those godforsaken wretched knees, and then the better knees in case. I
remember trying to find that out from people before, and they see if the box was marked differently, but you can't tell unless you open up the box.
Yeah. Yeah, because I have them both. Where the hell do I have them? Well, let's see if Joe might show them both. I have mine in the other room, but is he looking now or?
I don't know which one I have.
Well, I mean, how many Castle Grayskulls do you have from Origins? 1 or 2? Do you have 2? Or you just only one Castle?
I only have one that's open.
Oh shit! Well, when did you get? What was the space or the span of time between you buying the one and the other?
A ways, because I got one on super sale.
Well, shit, you gotta check them out now because they're both. They should be different. Hopefully, then you'll have both sorceresses. Wait, I can't see the text is blocking.
Yeah,
I can't see the. That's
Here, hold
the
on.
that's the jacked up knees, I think. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Woo! See if you got the better one. I can't look at that. That's like a train wreck. Oh my god, those are bad. Yeah, get your other one. Get your other Castle Grayskull and check it out. See if you got the better ones.
Open it right now.
Open it to do that.
Yeah, he doesn't want to open
Yeah,
it.
open it. Open that sucker. Who cares? Rip it open. Rip a box or rip a nib or whatever the hell you guys want to call it.
Rip and
I don't
grizz.
wanna.
Do it, Joe. You got to do this live. It's going to make for good entertainment. And then if he
Boy,
doesn't,
that
he's like,
pressure.
"Fuck."
Yeah, Joe, you don't have to give in. You don't have to give in to the peer pressure.
Do it, Joe. Damn it. Could you imagine he opens it and it's
Pressure, can't get
the
mad,
same
not
knees.
touching.
He's like, fuck.
Yep.
He cuts
Yeah.
like, oops.
No.
So, I don't know.
If you need me to open something, I can. I will. I have something I can open, but you know.
We need you to open the Castle Grayskull, Joe. See, we need you to. Everybody said it. You know it's eating away in your head thinking, do I have the other one? Because you have to have them all, Joe. If you don't, you're not a completist. You're not a completist. You got to see that shit.
I have a question
You're
for
right.
Oz. I have a question for Motu Joe. Oz, can you scroll back to the alarm clock? Do you, Joe? I know you pretty much have everything. Do you have these clocks?
No.
Those are cheap. Yeah.
They're not. They're, to the best of my knowledge,
Not
I don't
official
believe those are
thing.
officially licensed
No,
products.
I hate some of this nonsense garbage
So-
like that. It's like, I ain't in it.
You
Let's just
kinda-
plaster that same image on everything. It's like,
Yeah.
don't work.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Wow.
I think it's all like the same company that just plasters this one image
Yeah.
they have.
Oh god, I can't stand it.
I
Yeah.
haven't clicked on it. It only be because I am passing judgment, looking at it, knowing that most of those things, when you see that, are not officially licensed. Most
Yeah.
of those things that are out there would be at an FYE, Hot Topic,
Right.
something like that, because
Right.
they're going to pay for the licensing.
Right.
So it could be, but no, I don't have those. I have the original. I have the
There
blue
you
original one that was available in the UK.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I'm
So-
in awe of his collection. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just, he's got almost everything that I can think of.
That's
Yeah,
in the
let's-
other room.
Let's transition to vintage stuff because I'd love to I know that that Joe has a pretty amazing collection of vintage stuff, and I know that Bobby, I know you collect the vintage stuff. I collect the vintage stuff, but I have a very small collection. Joe Amato, I know you do too, and Oz, do you have some vintage stuff?
I actually do, because a friend donated his entire vintage toy collection to me,
Yeah.
and it's
Nice.
got Zor, Screech, original vintage Battle Cat, Panther, a lot of the figures. Not as much of the accessories. It's a lot of mix and match, but I've got at least
Mhm.
2 complete power swords, which is pretty awesome.
That's cool. That's cool.
So I was scrolling down looking at the rest of the stuff, and since we are talking about vintage, I did notice they've got these really awesome tin signs
Oh
with
yeah.
like the retro art. I mean,
Yeah.
look at the Eternia one here.
Yeah,
The
that's pretty cool.
1723.
Yeah, I have one
Like-
tin sign. It's got the first wave, the 82 wave.
Oh
I got
yeah.
it.
All
Wall
art from
back
William George. I still have all the original posters, all 4 of them, because there was 4 main ones. The first one was the one that, well, has the infamous Sky High. Did you ever hear that story? No, I won't do that. But well, there's a character that's flying on in the Wind Raider. It never had a name, and as a kid, I
Yeah.
used to be obsessed on that sucker. Like, what's his name? When's he coming out? And as a kid, I nicknamed him Sky High. Fast forward years later, through all the He-Man websites, toy pages, I put my name up there. I made up a little bio for him, and was sharing it, and that caught on so much so that when the Classics line came out and they named that character, they used my name Sky High, so he was officially named Sky High.
That's awesome.
True story.
True
Even,
story, dude.
Friggin' Toy Guru himself talks about that.
Yeah, he gave credit. Yeah. And there's some more Earl. That's
is
Earl
nuts.
Norem art there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
missing a
that's cool.
lot. Like this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm knocking it, but I don't know if you want to say I'm a purist of the actual poster art, but sometimes I see them crop and clip pieces and just add it on stuff, and sometimes
yeah.
it just.
Those are 99.9% of the time bogarted. They're not.
No, so I don't flip over that stuff. As cool as it looks, and again, if people love that, that's awesome. More power to you. But I get, I don't know, OCD on cropped art, weird things of, I don't know.
I'm
Just
with
doesn't
you.
do it for me.
I'm with you, Joe. I want to see the whole thing. If I'm going to put it on my wall,
Yeah.
I want to see that William George. I want to see it look beautiful. I want to see the whole thing, the way it was intended to be seen.
I agree.
But that's if you're, I guess if you're just, if a relative is looking for a stocking stuffer for you and they know you're into Masters of the Universe, that's probably something they're going to get.
Yeah.
And
That's any one of us knows and would actually really appreciate and love something like that given. I think it's killer, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The blankets that you see being done.
Yeah.
No knocking it at all, because I get it. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that because I know there's the certain vein I'm not going to cross, especially with doing the shirts and t-shirts and skull. I just no. But if I got one and someone said, I'm sure I got it, cool. It happens. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I got really obsessive with the art. I mean, as a kid, I would say any bit of whether it was the newspaper, some of the comic strips, some that were not actually published in any of the Dark Horse books. Surprisingly, there was these 3 unique stories that were in there, and it almost made it, but didn't. But I mean, I obsessed on all the art that you would see in the Masters of the Universe magazines, to just a lot of rare different things, and I tried to preserve it as best as possible. So when they came along to doing the Art of He-Man book with Dark Horse, I was a part of that because there was so many great scans I did and digitally repaired slight maybe little creases or just something, which many of them didn't have that because I just was obsessed on keeping things clean. But that's what I mean. So when I see some art, I just get nuts about it when I see things just looking awkward. And Earl Norem, a lot of his stuff wasn't shared because beyond the posters that you've seen, I mean, we know he did, box art and stuff too, but with the posters inside the magazines, they'd have that greetings from Eternia page, and they would have something with He-Man or somebody else. And those pieces of art, people forgot about. They were just obsessed usually on the posters. They forgot he did other unique pieces of art there. And there's just so much to share. I hope they do more art books and other things. Hopefully the future, you never know what's in store, but hopefully we get to see a lot more of that type of stuff.
Yeah, it would be great if I know Dark Horse puts out the books pretty much, but it would be great if Toshin got a hold of all of just the painted art and just released a massive book that collects just the art, the packaging art and the promotional artwork. And
a lot of the artists, remember, they were unnamed. A lot of them didn't know who did this stuff, like R.L. Allen, who did a lot of those puzzle pieces and the coloring book stuff. I mean, there's so many artists that didn't get the credit, like Gino Diachile, who I like talking about a lot, who did some of the vintage, golden books, the soft covered ones. So there's a lot of people that just didn't know the names of the artists at the time, and they got uncredited. But there's a lot. I mean, even Floro Deary, who's, did stuff for Transformers. He did some art for Masters of the Universe, and some people didn't know that. So as you can tell, I get passionate. I love the art of Masters of the Universe. I get insane about it. So I just kind of obsessed on the artists and trying to share everything I could.
Yeah, Brick Something says, thanks for helping preserve some of that art, Joe. God's that was some great stuff. Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I'll just start this conversation off, and I think this might be a good place to start. What got me into the vintage figures was when I was a kid, I had an allowance and I saw Trap Jaw and I bought Trap Jaw. And from there, I just became immediately obsessed. But the obsession wasn't necessarily solely with the action figures. It was also the mini comics. And so calling back to that art, the art was really what helped initiate my obsession with these figures, the way they look, and the way the mini comic art supported the way that they looked. It was brightly colored barbarians and monsters, and the stories in those first mini comics were mysterious and slightly treacherous, and that's what really drew me in, and that's the reason why I'm still interested today. Filmation then sort of supported that for me later on. I would be excited about the cartoon, but it was for me, I started off with those mini comics and those first figures. How about for you guys? How did you first get into and anyone can go to free for all? How did you first get into Masters?
I'll
Oh,
go.
I was gonna let Oz go. I was just because you know me, I'll ramble. I was like, I better shut up because you know I'll go 100 miles an hour. But yeah,
I'll jump into the frenzy on that one since we all tried to jump up at once after pausing for everybody. So yeah, for me, I mean, I definitely remember as a kid, God, like I don't remember what was the first one exactly that I had because I was so young at the time. But I just remember loving playing with these toys, but there was nothing like that. You know, we're so close to Christmas when you tore open the wrapping paper and you saw like this work of art in front of you.
Yeah.
And you knew that was the toy that was inside of whatever that box was. Like the box for Spydor was ridiculously awesome.
So cool.
Yes.
And
Agreed.
Gray Skull and Fright Zone, all of it was just so good. And I remember that definitely helped inspired other parts of what I like too. Cause like, you know, at the time, Frank Frazetta, like art books were like real popular and you could see the prints or the posters. And like, that's something that I feel they're definitely continuing now. And I appreciate it because that was something from the vintage toys that I think really helped to sell those toys to you and really make you want them. Because that artwork, there was nothing like it. Not even the Filmation series was exactly like it. Like some of those background images kind of had that wasteland look to it, but what you just saw on those boxes was amazing. And yeah, it definitely captured your imagination to play with those vintage toys in that world you saw in the box.
Yeah.
Huge.
That's really well said. I mean, no, it's very well said because it wasn't just like you said, the action figures. It was when you turn around and you seen the card back art from Errol McCarthy, and you seen that when you seen Rudy Obrero's art for Castle Grayskull, when you seen any of the art, it sucked you in because you were like, you could stare at one image and imagine a battle scene. You know, and that's what was great about those giant William George posters too. It's like, oh my God, you were fascinated. Kids usually would not obsess on wanting to hold on to art, but I remember cutting the backs, tops of every one of those card backs to keep all of them. I was like, I love looking at this. You love the art just as much as the action figures and the vehicles, and that was unique to Masters, and especially that red and black, brick design. It just, you walk down to us like, what's this? Because the first figure I ever got and seen, I remember, was Beast Man. Just his color design too. It was just that cool orange and red. It's just like there's just something that popped that you'd never seen before. It actually sucked you right into that aisle, and you didn't want to leave. So yeah, the art and the figures, God, just, I mean, I can't picture loving one and not the other. It's just they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's really funny that you actually bring that up because, you know, selfless promotion here. My own show that I'm doing this Saturday involves just that. We're going to be going through, we're going to be cutting up some cards because I've been saving these things from the start.
Okay.
And
got a vintage stack there too?
Huh? No, vintage. No, these are just regular cards. The newer ones.
Okay.
But
okay.
Grab myself a nice big scrapbook with some pages in it.
Yeah,
and this weekend, Ostradamus Toys Live is going to be scrapbooking.
There you go, do it, man. Enjoy that. Yeah.
Get your supplies. Bring it on. Come join me live this weekend, and we're going to do some scrapbooking.
Absolutely. Welcome, Master Versal Toy Hunter. Good to have you.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you.
So who's next? Let's hear it.
I'll go because mine is similar but also not. So when my first He-Man figures, Master of the Universe figures toys, came in 3. I'm almost positive it came in 3. I got Stratos, He-Man, and Tila. And I remember very vividly playing in the back of the car. We had a station wagon, so it was the backpack. And I remember playing, and I dropped one of Tila's, I think it was her shield or her staff, down the side, and I couldn't get it, and I was upset. And I remember.
I was hoping you were going to say you dropped Stratos out the window. That was going to get me really excited.
Man, here we
go.
No. I do remember at some point having a Skeletor because I remember doing the 2 halves, always wanting to do the 2 halves, never being able to. And at some point I was, but the figure that I played with the most and hands down was Battle Armor He-Man, which is obviously a couple, down, but that was the He-Man figure for me. But my play, I played. I didn't think of the box art as much when I was thinking of He-Man.
Okay.
I didn't think of the box art as much. I liked the cartoon, so I was more of roped into the idea of this is the toy that goes with this cartoon. And I didn't think so much of the barbarian side and the art. That came when I was much older and understood what this took and had a much.
So were you kind of introduced to the cartoon first? Did you get introduced to the cartoon first, or did you have the toys first? Because I mean, we know the toys came first, but cartoon first. As
best I can recall, it was cartoon first because I wouldn't have asked for something I didn't know, because I'm thinking fast forwarding even more. I was a G.I. Joe guy, and then I wanted Thundercats, but I never could get Thundercats. And so it was a sequential thing. I was a TV kid, right? But I was also a play. So I was very intermixed with my toys. Transformers is what box art got me. Not to digress from what He-Man and what we're talking about, but because we're talking about the art and the box and stuff, that's the first stuff that made me go, whoa.
Sure.
And my brain.
But you come to appreciate the Masters of the Universe art, you said, as an adult.
Correct. Now,
okay, it's good, because I was going to have Skelly just remove you right from this podcast if you said you didn't like this shit. I was like, get him off. This is shit. But
no. I mean, you can't see. I mean, no, I have no appreciation for the art.
All right.
None of it
whatsoever.
All right,
you get a little pass. You got some cells there. You got some. All right. I guess I'll give you a pass. Like it.
Yeah. No,
you're okay, Joe. It's all good. You're good.
Oh, no, it's and again, it's been a little kind of surreal, like PowerCon. I'm set up there with this, and directly behind me are the 2 Castle Grayskull artists. I've got Rudy Herrero and Nate Barch. They're literally right behind me for 3 days, and it's cool. It's really cool. And Rudy came up to a booth. The first time I met him was out west, and he was like, "Oh, these shirts are so cool. My buddy couldn't make it." I gave him shirts. He sent me text me a picture later, like with his buddy in the hospital wearing the shirt, and just it's it's just that's cool little memories that I'll have forever. It's cool. So yes, really I very, very, very much have an appreciation for the artists and the work that goes into it, which is again. Like even this, working with the late Mark Taylor and Rebecca still with things. It's an honor and privilege. So very, very fond of what they've done and helped create.
Heck yeah,
that's awesome.
Now we got Vintage He-Man guy that's going to talk about his story.
Way back in the past. No, 82 Christmas. That's what I remember. He-Man. I got. Castle Grayskull, the 2-pack of Battle Cat and He-Man, Skeletor, Stratos, Man-at-Arms, and Zodak.
Wow,
that was my first Christmas that I got with He-Man, and I don't remember how I seen He-Man the first time. Like Joe said, he saw a Beastman in store. I don't recollect seeing that, but it had to be something like my friends, because I had like 10 friends that lived on my block, and they all had toys. That was the only time I was actually able to get the toys, except for the next Christmas and my birthday the following year. But because we didn't have a lot of money, so I lived through their toys more. And but like Motu Joe was saying that I lived through the cartoon a lot for my Masters. I didn't have any of the mini comics because, like I said, most of my friends had the mini comics, so I didn't get into any of that too much. And I appreciated that. My parents always threw out all my packaging. I'd open it up for Christmas, they would throw it out. So I was not.
Nightmare.
I only was able to keep like one card, and I would cross off all the figures I had, to see if I could get other ones. But they always threw everything out after
Yikes.
I opened it all. Yeah, so I was never able to keep any of that stuff. But I do have the one poster that you were talking about, the one that had Panther and Battle Cat. And
Okay,
stuff.
yeah, that's the first William George
Yeah,
poster.
right.
They're
Yeah.
all amazing, but yeah, great.
Yeah, I still have that, and I do have a checklist still, one of those posters as well. But yeah, so most of the
Wait,
time
you desecrated your poster? You said you desecrated by putting. Oh, okay.
No, the card.
The-
The vintage card art that I had,
Oh.
they'd rip, the packaging.
Oh, so okay, all right.
Yeah.
So you desecrated that too, but okay, all right,
Yeah.
continue.
Hey, I used to do that with all my Star Wars figures and everything too. I would get the
Dear
list
God.
and you just cross off all the names.
We have a nightmare
Yeah,
here.
I swear I remember being in like a Montgomery Ward or a Sears, some type of store, and going towards the Star Wars toys and seeing the He-Man toy and not having a connection with it yet because I hadn't seen the cartoon or vice versa. So there was this weird moment, and God, it could be me talking about stuff for years that I'm making this stuff up at this point, but it just seems so vivid that I wanted the Star Wars toy, and I had this other guy, instead I wound up taking some random Star Wars guy that I didn't know because it was Star Wars.
Yeah.
This seems so.
I don't like this story, Joe. I don't
Yeah.
like this.
Isn't that crazy how it turned out though?
Yeah,
Right?
at least it turned out better.
You don't
Horrible
have
beginning, but at least it turned out good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I remember it was almost as if I had the opposite situation as you, Joe. That first day I walked into a Toys R Us. I think it was a Toys R Us. It could have been something else, but I don't remember anything else except for walking toward a trap jaw. It just like the moment we walked into that store, that's what I saw. I walked right to it. I didn't have any idea what it was. It was like magic. Nothing else mattered. And I like Star Wars, but nothing else that just took all my attention right there.
Yeah, my friend used to live pretty close to a Service Merchandise as well, and I'd stay overnight at his house, and we'd walk across the street and go to Service Merchandise, and they had all the toys there as well too. That was always fun. We go hide all
Service Merchandise and Whitmark.
I forgot about it until you mentioned that Service Merchandise. I remember I never went there for toys because I thought it was all like electronic stuff. And one time going for something, one time going for electronics, like, what is this thing? They got some He-Man figures, and I remember seeing some of them too, which was a shocker. My last main trips were always to Elder Beerman, which is another place you wouldn't think. And I remember riding the escalator up to their section where they were the last place that would get some of the newer stuff. And then I knew that was towards the end when there was no more He-Man stuff, but I was still hoping and holding out because I went into that Montgomery Wards one time, and this lady started recognizing me going to the store so many times. And she's like, "You're always looking for He-Man stuff, aren't you?" I was like, "Yeah, it was just nothing new." Because back then, you didn't have the internet. You didn't know when nothing was coming. You just had to get lucky. She was like, "Come here, I'm going to show you something. I shouldn't be showing you this, but I'm going to show you a catalog." And it was the one that showed Titus, Megator, Giganosaur, Hero, and Elder. I was like, wait, what's going on? What's this? And she's like, "This is something that might come out, but we're not sure if it's going to happen." So I was hyped for like a year straight, still thinking, oh my God, it's going to come. And it never happened. I used to tell my friends, and they thought I was a lunatic. They're like, "There weren't any giants for him. What are you talking about?" I described these characters, nothing. And I remember walking to the store and seeing New Adventures. I mean, He-Man, from based off of the cartoon New Adventures. At that time where I lived, for some reason, I never knew there was a cartoon, but I knew there was these weird shit-tastic looking figures that said He-Man. I was like, that ain't my He-Man. This is garbage. And I didn't want it because I was expecting the stuff I seen in the catalog. And then you fast forward all these years later, and I remember looking at one of those toy magazines at like a Thackeray Books, and they showed Titus, Megator's like, wait, what? And you didn't know that they were international pieces and they weren't released here. And then you seen the laser figures that we knew nothing about the laser figures. And of course, we never did get Hero and Eldor back then, but thank goodness we got them in Super 7 in that vintage form style. And you know, it's pretty cool. But and I've grown to appreciate, though, even though the cartoon of New Adventures still just, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth. It's still okay. It's got continuity, and if people like it, great. But their figures, I've learned to appreciate. They all had unique sculpts, and I was like, they're pretty damn good. You know, as a kid, absolutely wretched. I thought they were garbage, but I like the New Adventures figures. They have a charm, and they're all unique.
I'm the same way. Those New Adventures villains, those figures are phenomenal.
Yeah, they stand out. They really do.
But when those things first popped up on the shelves, I was starting to get interested in girls. I was like, I would walk right past those figures. I'd be like, that's not the He-Man that I know. And I
can see that.
I was video games by that time.
Yeah, video games and video games and girls.
I was a senior in high school.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, but I finally became a fan of New Adventures just this year, starting this summer. I watched it. I finally was able to get through it. Then of course I had to go out and get all the vintage mutant figures and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate it now compared to because I never knew it was even out back then. Like I said, I was in high school. I didn't watch cartoons or play with toys anymore by that time. So it was just it was something new for me.
Yeah, I drool over your New Adventures collection, your growing New Adventures collection, Bobby. It's good stuff.
I'm done with it now. I don't think I'm going to get anything else.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
do you have any Sagittar? I hope that's an amazing.
No, I don't have Sagittar. Yeah,
gotta get him. You have to get him. If you're going to get one more figure, please get him. He's damn cool.
If I was going to get one, it'd probably be Tuscador, but I don't know yet.
No, you got to get Sagittar. I said he fits in with the vintage He-Man line. He looks like he belongs with them. He's a big monster.
I got other things I got to get first.
Oh dear God!
Which figures do you need?
What's that?
Which figures do you need and or want? Loose or in box?
He's trying to get that
I'm asking, New Adventures. What are you looking for?
I'm not looking really.
He's looking for Sagittar is what he's looking for.
And he said Tuscador.
Tuscador, maybe. Yeah, maybe Tuscador.
In box or loose?
Well, I would get it loose because I like all my vintage loose. Because
Bobby, I think Joe's trying to help you out here. He might be trying to hook you up with something.
I understand
Come
that.
on, get it. And see if he's got a Sagittar too. And get a Sagittar. You get a double deal here.
I just got rid of my Sagittar. Sorry.
Oh, damn it. There went that.
Can you see Bobby squirming there?
I know. I'm looking at all my figures. I'm kind of, my mind's squirreling right now. So it's just, Joe's got me all flustered. I'm almost as red as he is.
I have some loose ones and some extra, some doubles on card. So
see, look at that.
I might get the what is that? The Discs Skeletor.
Discs of Doom.
Yeah.
I have one of those. I'm pretty sure loose.
Okay.
So you guys can talk after the show.
I think he's missing one disc.
Oh, that doesn't bother me.
So he's just the Disc of Doom, not the Discs of Doom. He's the Disc of Doom Skeletor. So you have a variant there, Bobby. See?
Yeah. Well, all my vintage figures I had, they're all complete. But if I got one that didn't have a piece right now, because it's New Adventures, it doesn't bother me as much. Okay. But I can end up finding a disc or something for like $50 that they usually sell that crap for anyway.
Could be.
I'll check and see what I have in the loose bin.
Okay.
I got it.
Well,
I'm overflowing with shit and toys everywhere.
I know.
I figure out where I have it, but I've got it somewhere.
If Bobby doesn't contact you, I'm definitely going to contact you.
Well, we'll fight it out first before you can do that. If you really want it first, then go ahead. Be my guest. Take it first. I'd rather have someone else get it, first. That's my nature.
So sweet.
Yeah, I just like to see people happy and get what they want. So
yeah,
that's cool.
I got enough shit, so it is what it is.
I love that about this community, about like how giving everyone is and how conscientious everyone is. That's really I haven't seen that. I've been part of other communities, other niche communities, and I've never seen it anywhere else but like it is with the Masters of the Universe community. this just serves as another example of this conversation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good lead into to Motu Bud, who is a gamer's question, which is, sorry. My question for the panel is, what is your favorite characters and figures of each group? Heroic warriors, evil warriors, horde, snake men, vehicles, playsets, etc. So I guess we could go around the room and talk about what our favorites are from the vintage lines. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. There,
all
I'll
right.
do it this time. Yeah, because I was gonna do Oz. You say Oz, go ahead, but I'll just ramble because I'll do it quick. Heroic warriors, for some reason, and a lot of them it attaches to a memory. But I really loved Snout Spout as a kid. I loved the gimmick. Also, it's because my older sister was horribly frightened of spiders, and I mean horribly. She would scream. It would hurt my ears just so bad. I couldn't stand the screeching, and I knew when there was a spider, and she would scream for me to get Snout Spout because the spider would be up in the corner of a wall. I'd aim, I'd squirt it to get it down and kill it. So he actually served a purpose. He was the spider killer. So a lot of good memories. But I love the gimmick with Snout Spout. Yeah. And I know that some people at times are like, well, he doesn't look like he belongs. It's like, hey, it's a world of fantasy. You can make anything work, especially when you're a kid. You have your imagination. He was good for me. Evil Warriors. That one usually floats between sometimes of like a Dragon Blaster Skeletor because, again, another squirting feature, but I thought the dragon looked so wicked. I love the design and look of that. And my Trapjaw. I love playing with Trapjaw. I used to like taking that string and having them go right down like how they'd almost advertise with the commercial and his mini comics. So that. The Horde. Right here. It is Modulok. I love the gimmick. Creating him and putting him together with Multibot to do Mega Beast. You could actually create Mega Beast with them both. And it's one of the only childhood photos I have of me holding anything He-Man related is having Mega Beast where I put Modulok and Multibot together. But I'd still go Modulok. And in the Snake Man, Snake Face. I love Snake Face's look. He's someone that sometimes doesn't get a lot of credit, but just wicked to have the snakes coming out of his face, popping out of his chest. And he was a creepy looking son of a gun. Why did I say it like that? I was like, some bitch. That's what I usually say. I tried to clean it up because I was trying to be proper. As
We've
for
thrown that out the window tonight.
Yeah, exactly. What am I doing? It's like out of all people, Joe is trying to say son of a gun. It didn't even sound right when I said it.
See, I like that because you like Snake Face, because I hear that a lot too. People don't like the figure, but I do. I like him.
Yeah, and I think people have come along to like him even more, and especially after seeing the stacks that the Four Horsemen did. Holy shit, talk about amazing. But as for the vehicles, it's kind of a toss-up. The battle ram, I love the attachment, shooting out the missiles, because my buddies and I would like set up the castles on different sides of the room, put figures up and take turns shooting missiles to see who knocked down everybody's warriors first. So it was that, and just Spydor, super creepy. It was slow, but it looked like it's just a giant creepy spider. And as for the playset, is my Eternia playset. I remember getting that for Christmas. I played with that sucker for months straight. I mean, months.
That's awesome.
That's my favorite playset is the Eternia playset. But there's my ramble.
Very good. Oz, how about you?
Oh, geez. It's a loaded question there because there's a lot of greats all across the line. Heroic Warriors, I'm going to say Fisto.
Cool.
I just dug the huge fist and like that secondary awesome sword.
Just
great.
don't say the stupid line that they put in Revelation.
Well, I could, but we might get taken down.
Don't use that line.
Evil Warriors, got to go with Scareglow because, God, I'm a sucker for glow-in-the-dark gimmicks.
Yeah, I can see that. Yep.
Horde, got a hands off to Grizzlor for being the werewolf of the bunch. Love him. Yep. Snake Men, I've talked about it. Well, actually, I'm going to alter my Snake Men one just slightly because normally I have a different favorite, but I'm going to go with King Hiss just because I love snakes and he was like a whole bunch of them. So it was great.
Okay.
Vehicles, it's a toss-up between Point Dread with Talon Fighter because I love that it attached to like Castle Grayskull and everything. But then also I really love the Battle Ram because it was just like these 2-in-1 vehicles.
Yeah.
It was great. Playset wise, I'm definitely gonna go for Fright Zone.
Yeah.
You know, Fright
Yes.
Zone just had so many different features with like the little ankle trap. You had the puppet. You got the jail cell. You got the tree. Like it
Yeah.
just had a lot of features, and it was just very open. It was a fun play set to set up and just mess around with.
Agreed.
glad you-
Simple and
yeah.
quick. It's underrated. That's what I felt
Right.
bad about with the Fright Zone, because some people said, "Well,
Yeah.
I want it to look like the cartoon." I was like, "Okay, I can understand that," because it would look great with the facade in the front. But what
Sure.
they did is that Fright Zone is actually one of the most interactive of the play sets. Like when you think of
Right.
Castle Grayskull, of course it's iconic. I love it, and it has its features. Snake Mountain, I love the microphone gimmick. I did that like crazy when I was a kid. And Eternia, yes, has the tracks to go around, but a lot of people didn't even know about Eternia. But Fright Zone, it's smaller, but everything you see there is interactive. I mean, it's just
Yes.
what you see is what you get, and they did a lot
Yeah.
with that small little section. So that's a really good choice. I like that.
Yeah, I
There's-
do too.
yeah,
Because a
the
lot of
test
people
shot.
talk crap about that one, and I don't understand why
Yeah.
they do that.
Yeah.
It was just fun. The whole thing
Yeah.
was fun.
It's
Yep.
amazing.
Yep.
Amazing. We're all in agreement there, that's for sure.
I'll give her a
Joe?
whirl.
Yeah, go for it.
So, Heroic Warrior, Battle Armor He-Man, Evil Warriors, Web Store.
Yeah.
Nice.
I loved the backpack. I just
Yep.
remembered a friend of mine had it, and I remember
Yeah.
playing with it and loving it. It
Do you
didn't
like
break.
throwing the grappling hook up on stuff and then pulling it to like you'd go like get onto Castle Grayskull, you throw the grappling hook from Web Store and he'd shimmy up?
It worked. You know, it hadn't
Yeah.
it hadn't gone bad yet or anything. So it was beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Hornets Modulok. I loved the taking apart. Because I was a Lego kid. I loved that side of things. So immediately
choice.
went there. Snake Men. It's Cobra Khan. I know it's not in the Snake Men, but it's Cobra Khan. I love the spritzing fact.
Yes.
Just love that.
Well, we'll give
that's
you a
what
pass
I
if you say Camo Con. It's like, we'll kind of give you a pass. He's a Snake Man there, kind of. But, well, yeah, okay. We'll say
You
Cobra
know what
Con.
I'm saying?
Hey,
I get it. I get
Hey,
it. 2000X
if-
though. 2000X,
hypo-
he's there.
yeah, but
we're talking
hypothetically,
vintage. We're talking vintage.
vintage. If you wouldn't say Cobra Con, what would your next choice be in the Snake Man if you didn't pick Cobra Con?
And if I keep traditional Snake Men,
Yes.
I like Snake Face.
Okay.
It would be it's close between Squeeze and Snake Face because I really liked the arm and how that cool feature looked. But
Yeah.
Snake Face was cool, like really cool.
Okay.
And then vehicles, Road Ripper. I had it, and the harder you could rip that thing, the faster it went. I loved it. Hurt my feet, hurt other things. It was great. I loved it. And play sets, although I didn't have it, my friend that had the web store had it, was Snake Mountain. I loved the net on the front, the bridges, the microphone, of course. Huge fan of that. So those are my choices.
Nice. Bobby, how about you?
Well, the Heroic Warriors is always going to be Man at Arms. He was my my favorite as a kid, and I love Man at Arms. Evil Warriors is Trapjaw. I got him tattooed. I know I show this off a lot, but I still love to
that's
show
cool.
it off.
Yeah.
And you should show it off.
For the Horde, I go with Modulok. He's just got the striking face. You know, he's just creepy. You know, yeah, he's fantastic. Snake Man, I like Rattler because of the spring neck, and you can always give it to a baby, and he can play as a rattle. You know,
Here's your baby rattle.
Yeah, because I just scared the shit out of the kid. Here's the rattle and bang, like, having nightmares.
Just my luck to get too close to the eye.
Yeah.
That'll be a new IG reels or something. You know, and you can see those little
Kid
kids
screams growing
toys.
up anytime
Got a
sees
bunch of kids
Rattler.
play with Rattler.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's terrible.
Yeah, the vehicles I go with Wind Raider because that's the only one I've ever had, and I got that one back in '82 as well. And then the play set's always going to be Castle Grayskull.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my favorite. Yep.
Well,
I wish you had more vehicles that you played with, or at least had back then. Because
Well, I did. My friends had them all. They had, we had the Roton. My friend he had the Point Dread. He had a lot. He was spoiled. This kid that lived across the street. He lived with his grandparents and his parents. They lived in a big house together, and
Yeah.
they had all the stuff. And then I had friends down the street, and we all pretty much gathered together, and we all got different toys.
Yeah, because the
you
reason
know,
I was gonna say I
yeah.
wish you had more is because I really don't. I never liked the Wind Raider as a kid that much. It was
really?
weird. I don't know why. It just I know it had the grappling hook feature,
Yeah.
but it just kind of felt so bland. Again, maybe I have a problem with doing this shit of acting like I'm flying stuff
That's
like
what I
with
was saying.
Stratos.
It's got wings.
Isn't it weird? It's like I
Yeah.
liked other things that seemed like it did more. Same thing with the Talon Fighter. It looked cool to display with, and it's nothing to knock what Oz said, but I was like, great, I get to go like that.
Yeah,
Just gonna
see,
say
I think the problem is you got a problem with birds.
maybe
And you
I
must have got
shit
bird
on a
shitted
couple
on a lot or something as a
did.
kid.
This is
You know?
not a lie. They said it's supposed to be good luck. I was always like, when is this good luck coming? I've been shit on 3 times. I remember every time it happened. I was like, do those fuckers like sit up there and wait and they know when somebody's because it's
See, that's
like
funny
impossible.
because I replied to him on a tweet today, and I did the Mel Brooks from
I
High
seen that
Anxiety, and that's when he got the bird shit on him.
Yeah.
And
I
stuff,
seen
and I
it.
was like, this is why you don't like Stratos. 'Cause you're sitting on the bench and you're getting shit all over yourself.
It could be.
It's the mask, Joe. Like the birds see that mask and they're like, they just
You scared the shit out of them.
Except pretty much. Oh shit.
You know, you asked where the good luck is, and just take a moment, look around you.
Yeah.
And you kind of
Yeah.
remember, like, you know what? Them birds were pretty damn right. Look
Yeah.
at
They
this
were
shit.
right. No,
Yeah.
it's true. I mean, like my entire vintage collection was from when I was a childhood, and it's like because I know some people because when they hear the stories, like, "Hey, man, you guys got food?" or "I don't have much money for this," or like, "Well, look what you're surrounded with," and I was like, "But as a kid, you know how it is. Your parents save up and do everything they can for you, even when times are rough. They save up for when it's Christmas or your birthday, and you have relatives." And I used to cherish. I mean, I cherished every single thing I got because I knew if it was damaged, I wouldn't get a replacement. I wouldn't get another one. So anything I ever had, and when the 2000X line came out, those figures were pretty affordable at that time, and so I was able to get it. And that's when times were a little better. Times are a little rougher now, but that's okay. It's like I said, I still get by fine. But you're right, man. I am thankful for everything. It brought all the those birds brought me a lot of luck, a lot of shit, a lot of
But I'm
luck.
sure Joe's the same way. We've probably been buying stuff forever. It's not like we just gathered everything in the past 2 years.
Right,
so
right.
That would I used to get it through all those. I don't know if you remember those toy shop magazines. They're like the big newspapers, and you would buy toys through that that was before the internet. I'm talking early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went
Maybe
a
I'm
little.
showing my age.
I went a little nuts early on. I was fortunate in the sense that when I graduated college, I had a decent job, and I wasn't poor right out of college type of a thing. So I drank and had fun, but the stupid stuff that most people were doing, I was buying toys. So I honestly didn't have. I had basically what would fit in a small little box from my actual toys from my childhood. So almost everything was repurchased over that time period. So
Oh wow.
it started in 1999 when I was working night security. I was an RA and I had insomnia, so I worked nonstop. So that's where I had the excess money from when I graduated, is because I had a scholarship for football and I worked as an RA and I didn't have a college bill. So it was great. And when I graduated college, I had one little bookshelf in my dorm room of toys, just random stuff that I was starting to buy from Walmart. And then by the time within a year, I had 6-foot bookshelves completely full of Dragon Ball Z, just filled.
Goes
and
quick,
Transformers.
doesn't it?
Nice.
Yeah.
And Transformers. And then eventually it was video games. And I mean, I had tons of video game systems and I had them all hooked up. And then it turned into the Transformers, and then it turned into 2000X. 2000X is where MOTU kind of really took a grasp for me again, which is right when Matty Collector, I think Series 2 or the second wave or something was out. That's when my MOTU addiction started. Prior to that, I had nothing.
Is that when
Really?
you started using that godforsaken fucking word too? Is when you started getting that? God, Come on, Joe.
Yeah.
We got to get you out of that. We got to cleanse you of that word. You can still use it for your name, but cleanse yourself.
You can actually, we can figure this out. I just haven't done it yet. I just have to go back and look at one the Facebook page. When I created the page on accident, as opposed to creating a profile, that's when MOTU Joe was born.
Yeah, see, that's why I put Bobby on my name. I don't, I don't want to get stuck with Vintage MOTU. I'm Vintage MOTU. I don't want to be named that, but I'm stuck with that now because that's where everybody knows you from. So it's, I understand that.
Bobby, you're stuck with Blushing Bobby now, Bobby.
Yeah, no, everybody on this show watches this. They call me Blushing Bobby because they say it and I start to blush and I get all like shy about it.
Well, I've pigeonholed myself too by being MOTU Joe, say there, it's well, what are you doing here talking about G.I. Joe, or what are you talking about Transformers? Like, you're the He-Man guy. Yeah. I've kind of wedged myself into that corner, but whatever, I don't care. I still talk about those other things because I did them. I played with them.
That's right.
I do that too. I'll make like a non-MOTU post or something. I'll throw up like Dick Tracy or Black Star or Dungeons and Dragons, or Voltron or whatever. So,
Maalox or Pepto-Bismol. I'm getting a fucking upset stomach. How many times you guys said that in the past 30 seconds?
It's awesome. I loved it. I knew every time it happened, I saw you cringe.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to send him a bottle of MOTU Bismol for Christmas.
MOTU Bismol.
MOTU Bismol. Oh man, we need to make that happen now. It's going to be a meme.
Yes,
MOTU Joe and a big old bottle of MOTU Bismol.
Yes,
that's
I can
brilliant.
see that.
That's what I want.
Joe, Retro Rags T-shirt, MOTU Bismol.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make this happen.
Honest to God, in this same vein with MOTU Bismol, because we can do that. I can totally do that. If you can give the image, I can bring it to life. No problem.
All right. I'll be working on it. Everybody knows.
And I'll have to wear this shirt. Yeah.
Yep.
So, Ken Coleman and I talk regularly, and for whatever reason, I don't know how it came about, but Enchanted Falcon Meat came about to where we created a label for canned chicken tuna or canned chicken. So that way it was Enchanted Falcon Meat. And then we had Sea of Rakash tuna. And
I see.
So we started making these food brands and these labels, and you can actually get them white labeled and produced in legitimate cans.
Wow.
That's
Yes.
gorgeous. I love that.
Yes.
Fantastic. Yes. All right, you guys I'm gonna do mine now. I'm gonna do my list if that's all right. Let me just see if I can remember what it was. Okay.
Here, I'll go back up and I'll re-highlight it for you.
Okay.
I'll get it.
Sorry, Skele Vader. You were waiting all patiently. We got all sidetracked.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. That's what the show's all about. To like get sidetracked. Sidetrack is like the subtitle of this show.
Every episode.
I'll be quick though. So Heroic Warriors, mainly because I love this guy as a kid, Moss Man. Like I just loved Moss Man. And I'll make this even quicker. I love Moss Man because I loved Beast Man, and I never had Beast Man, and I was obsessed with Beast Man. I just didn't have him, and I would like think about him all the time. And so when I had Moss Man, it was like that he served as my Beast Man. So it's like Moss Man and Beast Man, Heroic Warriors and Evil Warriors. Horde, Mantena all the way. I'm with Gamer Bud on that. Mantena was awesome and super weird. I loved how weird he was. And it eventually became Modulok, but it started off with Mantena. And actually, I just for you, Amato, like Modulok has now become my wife and I. We like bonded over Modulok when we rewatched the show a few months ago.
Really?
That guy's he is in the cartoon. He is by far the creepiest character of all the baddies. He deserves more credit. Snake Man, Ratlore all the way. That's such a weird. His legs are so weird. They're just like short little stubby things. Love that about him.
So stubby.
vehicles, Land Shark. I didn't have many of the vehicles as a kid, but I had the Land Shark, and that thing's badass. Love the Land Shark. And play sets for me, it's all about Castle Grayskull. Now, there's a subtitle to this. I mean, a sub. I love all of the Masters of the Universe play sets. They're all great, and so the Castle Grayskull is where it started for me. So I have that. But yeah, I love Snake Mountain too, and Fright Zone. I never had an Eternia play set, but I love them all. All right, good.
Oh, that's awesome. Right. There's not a bad play set at all.
No.
And well, first I want to say again to all of you, thanks for having me on. I do have to go now because I knew I was going to have to cut it short before 11. But I appreciate all of you for having me on. It's always great talking with you, Joe.
You got it, Joe.
All right, and Bobby. It's good. See, that's it. Skele Vader. Yeah, but it was great. Thanks for having me on. It was fun, and I'll see you all on Facebook and other parts of social media.
Yeah,
give me a call tomorrow.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Joe.
Yep.
All right, so now we have you trapped, MOTU Joe here. We're going to talk to you now. And no pressure. Our show usually goes for about 2.5 hours, so no pressure. If you feel like you got to go too, there's nobody's going to feel bad.
Yeah, I mean it's past my bedtime. I gotta go. I gotta.
There you go.
I was expecting him to pull down the shelves behind him and a bed just pop out.
We used to have a Murphy bed. I made one.
Really?
There you go. It's great.
Yeah.
I love those.
Yeah. My son had a Murphy bed for a long time. Once he got teenage-ish, we decided to just upgrade to more of a fixed bed. But yeah, it was great. He used to play in his room all the time.
See, it was the best part about that because, it would fold up and now you've got so much more room for activities.
So much more room. I love that. Love that.
So much more.
That's something we all need is more room, I guess.
Right? Oh my gosh.
It's space danger, the number one enemy.
Go ahead.
So I think that's a good segue to the question I have for you, Joe. I think it's everybody who watches this show is familiar with you, I'm sure, but your collection is quite legendary, and space must be an issue for you. What are your plans for your collection, which is, I'm assuming at this stage, is pretty extensive. What are your plans?
This is not at least currently, not planned to be our forever home. Kids have a couple more years here. We have started the look, but with the way the market has changed in the last 6-8 months, it's not likely for us to move anytime soon. Right. But there are visions and plans for if we can have this space and I can figure it out, more like museum style spacing, big, huge 10-foot ceilings, like the legit deal. That's not likely. What is likely, though, is more of your in-home galleria, if you will. Mm-hmm. Nicely, permanently built-in shelving units, LED lighting, back-to-back aisleways. So, like in a room like this, where you could go all around the perimeter, there would be 2 separate floor-to-ceiling thin cabinets that allow for display of items. And then so there's lots of plans for that. And yeah, it is extensive. It's kind of crazy. I can actually go into the next room while still being connected here mobily and roll into the main toy room. But yeah, it's the full classics line, the Matty Collector line. So all of those. I am missing a few mint on card vintage figures, probably about five or six of them. Most of the heavy hitters. Fortunately, I do have the super heavy hitters and the Giants and at least Laserlight Skeletor on card.
Wow.
I've had several laser light He-Mans, but I've traded or upgraded or sold or done things with those. I've never owned one on mint on card yet. But all the 2000X series, and including the variants and paints, I don't think I'm missing any at this stage, that I can think of, at least at this moment. There's all the loose figures from vintage. I do have the whole loose line, the Super 7 line, the Filmation line, the Ultimates line, the Origins line. Mondo saved 3 of the Mondos. So all of those things and all the play sets, and then there's the magazines and the merchandise and the animation cells and the posters and the furniture and the bouncies and the bicycles. And it's a lot. I'm fortunate, very fortunate to have a wife who understands the passion, and it's a balance, but I'm at the tipping point to where if I feel it, they have to feel it, right? So I don't want it to get to that tipping point, So I'm in a constant state of trying to move the things that are coming in, and it's just been a heavy year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
It's not going to keep going. It's going to tap out. It's going to do a similar thing to what it did back in the day, especially without there being fuel being pumped up on the tube anymore. It's bound to pop because there's nothing else fueling it other than us. So
that's right.
I can ride it out another year or so, but if it keeps going at this rate, I'm really going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Well,
that's one thing. No, go ahead, Skelly. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's one thing I never got into was any of the merchandise stuff. I just collected more figures, and I got all the golden books and all that, things like that. But I never got into any of the merchandise like that. Now that I'm talking to him, I'm like, man, should I get that stuff?
Yeah, like this was my last acquisition. Like, this is.
I watched your video on that. That is a beautiful piece right there.
As silly and stupid as it sounds, I have 2 of them. This one's brand new in box, as best we can tell, and it works. But realistically, we know of 6 of these type of things. It's that type of down the rabbit hole I've gone down, and it's fun, but it's never ending. It's that's in part why I do like it, is I know I'll never not be looking for something. There will always be something, whether it be a variant from another country, which I don't do figures. I might look for merchandise.
Right.
But it's just when I say this, it's in a positive way. It's a never ending hole. I can just keep on going down it. And again, in a positive way.
Right. Yeah, it's always fun to find something new that you never heard of or whatever, and it's like, oh, I got to get that now. It's like, because you don't want to get bored, or you don't want to say, hey, I got everything. Now what? It's always cool to come up with something that you never saw before. I like that. But I would always like to get the vintage mint on cards, but I can't afford that. I would love to have a whole set, but that's always been a dream of mine. But I'll never be able to. I doubt it. Yeah, I want to retire in 5 years. I don't think that'll go good with my plans there. So we'll see.
I watched a video of Rancho Obi-Wan like 3 years ago. It was before we went to PowerCon, and the first person I thought of was you, Joe, because I thought like that's what MOTU Joe needs. He needs a place where he can store his stuff, but also there and a collection like yours is important, similar to what that gentleman has at Rancho Obi-Wan, which is it's a document of an entire era of collectibles produced around a particular IP. And there's okay, guys, I'm falling asleep. I hope that's not the conversation, Ray, but we understand.
Sorry, want me to move in the other room where there's more toys? I can.
No
Make it a little
apologies.
spicy.
I think that there's gotta there's probably a need for your collection as a document as opposed to just a collection. Does that make sense? For
Sure.
people,
If money was truly limitless, right? And I strike it in someday, or the passion really does turn into a paycheck of significance, right? You're in Arizona. Where are you at again in Arizona, Bobby?
Phoenix.
Okay.
Phoenix,
Is Golfland USA still on South Superstition Freeway?
Golf. Yes. Yep.
Okay. Is the giant castle still there?
Yes.
Behind. Okay. Yeah. That's where I went every summer as a kid. I went to Golfland USA. For those of you that don't know Golfland USA, think of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, the original movie, where Napoleon is going down the crazy water slides. That was my backyard when I grew up, basically. We went there on a weekly basis. What you can't see in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is the castle I just talked about. It's a traditional castle, and back then it was more of a brown stone. I don't know what it is nowadays, but I visioned that, but in a Castle Grayskull type scale. I mean, we're talking people when it's plaster, it's not actually stone.
Right.
But I envisioned this castle in more of a public welcome type of a thing, to where it's set up all cool and faux stone and mixed in with stuff. And it's more like a museum where there's lots of space. But it's also a bed and breakfast where there are rooms on the upper balcony, which at the castle in Golfland USA, the upper balcony had the free video games. When it was your birthday, you had your party up there. They were all unlocked games. So similar concept. There's bed and breakfast stays and little perks that you could do with like the drawbridge, to where that's the access and entry points outside of, other. They're just, yes, this has been in my back of my mind, but you're talking multi-million dollars to do. Sorry, I keep bumping this. I put the table down to try to pull something like that together. And I shouldn't say multi-million. You could get away with several $100,000, but still, I'm not sitting on that. And it's something that I don't. So anyway, I'm rambling, but yes, I would very much love to see something like that come to life.
So we got to start the crowdfund, the GoFundMe, to get the MOTU Joe collection as an actual curated collection in a museum.
Well, we already, and again, thank you for that. I do appreciate that, Oz. But we do already kind of have the Power and Honor Foundation that does exist. And they do actually curate and keep a lot of the artwork and some of these things in preservation. So I'm not a part of them. I obviously know them, and we're friends and everything, but I have no issue in doing some type of official collaboration with multiple people in order to bring that to life, where you're going to have to curate some things in there, because there is no way I have it all. Here's a really crazy example, and I'll move into the next room here in just a second, but this was probably a year ago at this point. MOTU Merchman, Brian Oatman, another huge, major collector. Just amazing collection of what he has, in particular merchandise, hence the name. He tracks his stuff through Instagram, and we shared pictures, and we were trying to go back and forth. And at one point, he had 181 items that I did not have, just merchandise-wise, that we knew about more than a year ago.
Wow.
Like 181. So it's insane.
Yeah, there are so many different little merchandise that was put out back then. And just they plastered Masters of the Universe on everything. Part of why it was so great.
I think that the right people team up, the right people bring their collections together. It's the people with money decide, I'm going to donate to this. I see it as a very real thing. A Masters of the Universe museum, a Masters museum, a very real thing that could possibly happen. It's just when I see like Joe's collection here, I just think I just think that is a miracle of human endeavor. It's like, it's freaking amazing. It's like that's real dedication. That's real. That's it's what is it? It's archival.
Obsessive compulsive.
Let's say it's archival. How about that?
Oh, okay.
It is obsessive compulsive. Trust me, all of us in this conversation understand obsessive compulsive. Yeah, for sure. Broman says there's
yes,
a
I
need-
have I'm on a nice little fun mobile studio thing that I made, so I can be a little now. Now I am on battery power at this point from the laptop, so that'll give me about 40 minutes before I have to run back in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes,
yeah.
this is the toy room. It's hard to see with the glare on, but directly behind me is the vintage stuff, along with the commemorative, which I didn't mention before. To the right is the merchandise wall, and yeah, I can do a quick tour here because I'll put this off to the side, and then we'll just go like this. So
There's that beautiful beast Spider I saw in the background.
Yep.
there's the 2000X stuff, some Super 7s, some Funkos. Oh my gosh, I forgot the Loyal Subject stuff. That's right. That's all there.
Oh, yeah.
Meg
Yeah.
Constructs, that's all there. I did a custom piece for this old toy play set.
Yep.
So created the own castle. That right there, is super, super rare. It's just a bathroom spray thing. It's ridiculous, but it's rare.
That's
Plush
awesome.
Orko 2000X. That's a watch display sticking behind there. That's a vintage Play World Magic stick. Some lunch boxes back behind there. And then this is your a little more 2000X down here. These with the gold badges are from the Times Square first release of the figures. They have a sticker on it that says Toys R Us Times Square, and it also has the Four Horsemen signatures on it. There's a whole series of those, including these, all the figures. There's some other ones that are back behind there, but this guy doesn't get seen too often.
Yeah.
That's
Phenomenal.
the German Dragon Walker from 2000X, where He-Man does have tattoos on his leg and arm.
Huh.
That is so awesome.
Awesome. I don't think I've ever seen that one before.
So this is getting into the vintage merch. Italian, a complete box of pencil sharpeners is what this is.
Wow.
Underneath there,
Oh yeah.
erasers. That's actually not. Let me make sure I get this right. That's not erasers. Even though it says erasers, it's a mix of erasers and keychains because that one's all keychains.
Ah.
The record player. That's the 2000X that was used for Dan's book, the archival book, the action figure guide that he did. So a lot of the figures from the loose collection, which, is up there. A lot of these figures are the figures that were used in conjunction with Brock Snyder. These are the figures that were used, many of them, for the loose pictures in the catalog in the book.
Nice.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Oh, so yeah, don't want to just cake up all the time, but this is a whole bunch of crap. I can stop anytime. There's a whole bunch, lots of stuff.
So, Gamer Bud wants to know if you can activate the electronic Skeletor staff. Apparently, that was his favorite toy, or is his favorite. That's
No, I
beautiful.
can't do it. Oh, we get the other button.
That's fantastic.
Oh, where's the other button? There it is.
That thing's amazing.
So yes, I'm missing one of the little fins.
So when
Yeah,
you collect your
honestly, I don't-
when you collect
Sorry, I didn't
vintage
even show the
stuff,
other side yet. So there's your big guys, the giants.
Yeah.
Yes, the creepy Ben Cooper latex mask. Then, sorry, the ceiling had to put the reaction up there because there was no room.
Yeah.
There's a better shot of the vintage stuff. Pop. The toy box is hidden back behind the new adventures, which you can see there.
Uh-oh. Bobby, you see those new adventures?
Yep.
There's the bikes. I just recently took apart the Battle Cat bouncer. I got at PowerCon to refurbish some of the metal that was getting some rust on it. That's the only known version of those two bikes. Both of those are the only complete versions that, when I say we, the community knows of.
Yeah.
That tricycle with that shield is the only one we know of, and same with this bicycle here. It's the only version that we know of that's complete.
Wow.
And then all of this stuff over there is the classics.
Nice.
With a few other little things mixed in there, but that's almost all classics. They're about 5 figures deep.
Beautiful.
So yeah, there you go.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's
Phenomenal.
amazing. Really amazing.
Oh, you were going to ask a question earlier, Bobby. What were you going to ask?
I was going to ask, like, when you go out and you're looking for something, does it have to be perfect? Like, say, like a vintage figure or something, or
Nope.
do you just like to grab it? Yeah.
No, it's got to be something I don't have typically,
Okay.
or an upgrade on something I already do have.
Got it.
Yeah, like I just recently there was a model kit that I was looking at that doesn't have anything in it. It's not completely empty, but basically an empty box. And I was like, well, okay. When I find one that's more complete, we'll find it. We'll upgrade. When I was showing the shelves by the erasers, there was the Clay Factory.
Oh yeah,
I have that. That's in my collection. But when I was also showing the spray shower nozzle, there's another Clay Factory. I got one because I wanted to make sure I had a complete between the two or upgrade, and it turns out I didn't need it. And that's actually getting passed on to another collector for the exact same price I got, because he came in the door like 2 minutes after I bought it. And I said, well, if I don't need it, it's yours. So it just
cool.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
It's
Motu. Yeah. What does that room smell?
It smells hypoallergenic, honestly. There's almost no air circulation in here per se. Like the vent is closed. It's magnetically sealed, so no air really comes in. The only air that comes in is the little bit that comes through the cracks of the door. I try to mitigate and eliminate any dust and stuff from coming in here. The windows are new windows to the house that we just put in, so there's no likelihood. Plus now they're UV sealed, but I also window tint them from the inside with material, so help double prevent it. So I try to keep it smells new. It's what it smells like.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I wish I had a room like that.
It's very small. With the walls coming in, I mean, like I said, those are 5 figures deep. Each of these shelves are 12 inches wide. This room is 2 foot wider than this looks. But it was an extra room that the old homeowners added on to a very large living room so they could create a 5th bedroom. But because it has a window, it's a legal bedroom here in Michigan. And it worked out great for a toy room.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Gamer Bud says he would catalog all your stuff for free just to touch it all. Yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hell of an undertaking, that's for sure.
Yeah. Have you cataloged it? Do you have a ongoing sort of record of what you do have? Kind of.
The easiest this is really bad. The easiest way to keep track of it all is to get it all. So by completing the lines, I don't have to keep a checklist.
Nope, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my problem. I keep checklists.
I do need it. I do keep checklists too. So like when I collect Juggernaut and trying to get the comics and different cards and I keep track of that stuff. With this stuff, it's a matter of just taking the time to document it. I did eventually start doing it. but I realized that I don't have to right now. But yeah, it would be a hell of an undertaking for sure.
Yeah. That's cool. Broman says you need a database of everything you own. I guess that kind of it makes sense, Joe, that you're able to you know what you have because you've completed the lines. But my thought is for the merch is where I would be a little bit more like, what do I have and what do I the small things, you know?
Yeah, there's that's no arguing that. There's no arguing that. There's just so many different things out there from different countries. Like, I mean, there's those stamps over there from Italy, and then there's Turkish trading cards that were sold in tri-folded little packs, and
Right.
there's also that's the Mexican version of the talking belt. I don't know if that's actually bootleg or if that's how it was sold in Mexico in some kit that was licensed. I never saw a licensed version of it, but it's hollow.
Wow.
Right.
You know, they're just weird. I agree. There's so much merchandise out there. It's insane.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Thanos Copter wants to know if your collection's insured. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Good.
And there's ways. So you can use collector's insurance. I believe that's actually what it's called, collector's insurance. They do not need a fully documented item by item thing. In particular with an established profile, like with what I do, there's evidence of it consistently and regularly available.
Right.
There's easy to document and go back and find things. Plus with credit card records, because of the nature of the last 5 years, I can find anything that I did the last 5 years or so. You don't have to have a completely itemized list is my point with that rambling through them. They're very forgiving and so they are not forgiving if you keep making repeated claims. That's the one thing I will say. And to be fair, many insurance companies aren't super forgiving upon multiple claims. They're relying, just like Haggerty, on that these people are anal retentive. They're collectors. They know what they're doing. They're not going to put their shit at risk of getting messed up. So sure, give us a few bucks and we'll keep it. We'll cover your back. You break those rules, they're not going to back you. I get it. But I've had them for so many years and have not had one issue to need them. But if I did, I'm not concerned at all. They got your back.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's smart. That's smart. I think for some of us that have smaller collections, we watch our collections grow, and that's definitely something that we should, start to think about, because this stuff's not. It's first of all, it's not cheap, but also some of it's valuable. I mean, especially a collection like yours. But I look behind Bobby every time we talk, and I know there's some value back there that he's going to want to eventually protect.
Yeah,
Well, it's more, to me, it's more what am I saying? Sentimental, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
Because like when I open up my closet and I have all my vintage figures standing there, I just love looking at it,
Yeah.
And it's just, that's what I like about it.
That's what's nice about coming down here. I because I'm always doing different little things, I'm in and out on a semi-regular basis, but there are numerous occasions where it'll just be like, just kind of look around, just appreciate and dig a little bit, because sometimes there's things that you just it's getting big, right? So you just want to absorb it and appreciate it.
Yeah, because I have a lot of books too, and I got figures in front of my books, but I got nowhere else to put anything. So it's that's just how it is.
That's right.
Yep, the toy boxes like that. The custom piece that I did is meant to be a bookshelf toy box. The toy box portion is full of, I believe it's full of bags at this point, bags of Masters of the Universe, and then the toy box behind me, the original wooden one, is full of tents. If I'm not mistaken. So the bed tents or pop-up tents and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Everything has a place.
I remember that having a He-Man pop-up tent as a kid, and I think it had a like one of those collapsible tunnels too.
That's cool.
I seem to remember that. Oh man.
Oh, there's the slumber tent. Oh my gosh, wait a second.
I'd completely forgotten about that until
you
just
had-
now.
You had a collapsible tunnel?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely had one. I do remember that vividly now, having that tunnel and crawling through it.
Oh, you might have just answered a question that oh crap. This is what happens when you get too much shit. Where is the catalog? There's a catalog, the merchandise catalog, the catalog that collectors like me just it's everything. It's like it literally is like all
It's
these
a
things that we
Bible
want.
for you because it has all of that in it.
And I found one in the last couple years. Somebody wound up, an old employee put a few up on eBay, and I managed to snag one early on. Oh crap, where is it? I'm trying to remember if I put it. So on top of the figures are animation cells, scripts, other things. Oh, I'm not gonna find it, am I?
So did Oz have something that's a little bit hard to find with the collapsible tunnel? Oh, he's frozen now. Oh no.
Well, I hate to say it. When I say had, and I talk about my vintage collection going up in a house fire, that thing was gone long before the house fire because it was like kind of vinyl, and that thing got shredded
Yeah,
over the years
yeah.
from so much use.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, especially with the wire that went through it to hold its shape.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
oh my God. But yeah, like him talking about the pop-up tents, and I remember the pop-up tent, and then I remember that collapsible tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had any of
Just-
that stuff as a kid. So
Me neither. Not stuff like that, but I saw it. S.J. Curtis says, I have been searching the internet to find this He-Man playset I had as a kid that was a big mountain that had a spider you could wear like a glove and pop out of a hole. Fright Zone, yeah.
Well, no,
Oh, no,
that's
yeah,
not
he's-
Fright Zone. That's the Hive.
Yeah, the
That's
Sectors.
Sectar's Hive.
Yeah.
The spider. Yeah, that's
Yep.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
The Hive. Sectars, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
SJ, that's actually not a He-Man playset. That playset was for a whole nother toy line called Sectars.
Yep.
And that playset is a grail for a lot of collectors.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
a toy shop there's a shop over here by my house that has one for sale. It's in the box too, for $2,500.
Yeah.
2,500.
Yeah, that
It's
thing
huge.
is no joke.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that thing is amazing.
Absolutely.
Well, we lost
Yeah,
Joe. We lost Joe, but man, tonight's been fun.
Yeah.
It was great talking to the two Joes and hearing what they had to say about their how they got into collecting and how they got into MOTU or Masters of the Universe. Sorry, Joe. But I hope MOTU Joe can come back on. But if not, what do you? But the Hive is super expensive. Bobby said he'll buy it for me.
I know.
Oh,
I
there's
sent
Joe.
it. I sent him a message and I said, "Hey, this is the toy shop at my house. It's got it on sale." And he's like, "So you get it for me for Christmas?" I'm like, "Joe, if I was made of money, I would definitely send it to you." But I said I probably can't. So then he sends me a little clip of what's the name? It's the Simpsons, where you guy just turns around and he's like, "Huh," and he just walks away. I'm like, "Oh, so now you're gonna play
Yeah.
that game with me?" Joe, I tell you, I would get it for you if I could. I would. I really
Right.
would.
Amato is he's gonna just bug you. He's gonna be like, "Hey, did you get the Hive for me yet?"
Yeah, I know. I know. I would do. I definitely would give it to him if I could.
I gotta tell you, if I ever got that playset, that would definitely give me the motivation I would need to finally do my Alien Hive diorama that I've been wanting to do for ages. Because like
Oh,
that
yeah.
piece just fits right in, sets the template to build out around it. I mean, it's even got like the little like catwalks that come out. I don't know if you guys ever read any of the Alien comics from like the late 80s going into the 90s, but they had one called The Labyrinth where this scientist bred the aliens and had them in this labyrinth of tunnels, and he would send people down in there to get slaughtered. So
That's
fun stuff. But yeah, that's kind of like what I envision doing for a diorama. It was great.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that shop. I'll get a picture taken with me next to it, and I'll send that to Joe as a Christmas card.
There
That's
you
about as
go.
good as I can
Let
for
them
now.
know this is the closest you'll ever get.
If I could make payments, I definitely would get him one. I would, if I could make
Yeah.
payments on it.
Do you hear that, Joe Amato? Bobby would get it for you if you could make payments. That's awesome.
But then he did say if I bought it, it would be like one of those where we'd swap it back and forth. Like I would get it for a day, he would get it for 4 weeks, and then I would get it for a day, and he'd get it for 4 weeks. But then I had to pay
Custody?
shipping back and forth. I'm like, so yeah.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
Amato says that would be an awesome Christmas card. Yeah.
Bad thing is, I don't know where the hell he lives. I don't even know.
Well,
He doesn't say.
Well, you
once
could
you
just
find
post it.
go ahead. Yeah, post it on Instagram when you find out.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, guys. Tonight was a really great night. I see Motu Joe's
fun.
trying to get back in. I'm gonna message him, but I think we can probably call it a night, and we will definitely have the Joes back on in the future, either together or separately.
Yeah, that would be great. I would love to see. I would love to have them back.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
Begin the good night. I'm just gonna say like Motu Joe, Masters of the Universe Joe, and Joe Amato. Thank you guys so much for agreeing to be on the show with Oz and Bobby and I. And it was a blast. We had and Joe's coming on right now. Let's see.
Damn.
All right,
Got him
we
back.
made it
Just in time to say thank you.
Yes. Well, we just want to say thank you so much for being on here with Amato and you. It was awesome. It was a blast.
It was a lot of fun. And as a parting gift, I found something.
Whoa. All right. All right.
I found the catalog.
Oh, nice.
And if I'm not mistaken, I could have gotten all excited for nothing. Okay. So this is the Mattel licensing catalog, 1986. And if I'm not mistaken, there is a accordion tube thing that you described that I've never seen. I don't know anybody that has it, and I think it's in here.
Yeah,
there it is. Here it is. There it is. You had that?
That's exactly it. Oh my god. Yeah.
Shut the front door.
Oh my god.
So,
I haven't seen
Joe,
that
when we lost you, Oz was talking about how it just disintegrated, over time.
It did. My vintage collection, as I've said a couple of times, I had a house fire back in 1999 that torched everything. That thing didn't even make it to 1999 because of how much I used to crawl around in it and use it. And it was in all kinds of weather outside. But yes, that was it.
Wow.
That's amazing, dude. Absolutely amazing. You are the first person that I know that I can, honestly say that confirm that this existed.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it existed, but that's not always the case. Joe just talked about it in the other catalog. They did not come out with Gigantosaur or whatever it was. And, so they're not in Eldor or Hero. So not everything I didn't know. And you just confirmed it's out there.
2023, a new adventure for you.
Yeah, because there's when I got this, I went through and just like, just all over. There's just, there was a few things in here that I had no idea. Neither, when I shared it with Motu Merchman, there was a couple things that neither of us knew about, and it's cool. It's cool.
Fantastic.
So anyway, thank you guys very much for allowing me to share and talk and ramble on about toys and collecting and just having a good time. So again, thank you very much for allowing me to be on.
Yeah, I'm happy to meet you. It's been a great time. Really good.
Yeah, hopefully you guys can make it out to a show. I don't think I caught where you're located, Oz.
I'm in Baltimore.
Oh, well,
So if
You're
it
not
comes,
that you're the closest of the bunch to getting to Ohio, but I'll be in Jersey in November next year, so you can make
okay.
if you try to make that. But it'd be great to see all you guys in person.
Yeah.
Skele Vader, I'm sure I'll see you at some point at some show in the near future.
We'll figure it out.
I am gonna try to make it out. I want to try to make it out, and this is not even at all related to toys, but Monster Palooza ties with Retro Rags. I am going to see if I can swing that, but that's literally the week before we take off for 3 weeks, 2 or 3 week vacation to drive across country as our kind of last family trip before kids go to college. So it's going to be really tight, but I'm going to try to make it out there for that.
Well, let me know if you are. That'd be really cool to run into you.
Yeah. I hope I can see all you guys in person soon.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. I'd be down for that.
We could do the new Mattel park that's coming out here in Arizona. We can play some laser tag He-Man.
Already planning on it, my friend. Already planning on it.
Yep.
Like
Cool.
the wife has been wanting to go to Arizona because she remembers me talking about it all the time. However, I do know that I'm not built right now currently for 90 plus degree temperatures on a given basis. However, I welcome the dry heat versus the humidity. It's life changing for those that haven't experienced it.
Yes, I'm glad I got rid of that. The humidity, because I lived in Chicago, so I'm right off the lake as well. And, it's just
Right on the Chesapeake Bay here. Humidity.
Yeah, if I go out there in the dead of the heat of summer, peak of summer, when it's consistently over 100, I probably won't fare well. So I'll time it more appropriately. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Anytime before June, anytime after September.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. Bobby and I live in parts of the country where we were talking about venison jerky at the beginning of the show. Like that's or were we in the green room? The green room maybe. But Bobby and I live in jerky, the parts of the states that get so hot and dry, it's like we turn into jerky. So
I forgot where I was going to go with that. I welcome coming out to Arizona. The wife is excited to go out there too because, again, like I said, I talked about it all the time. And growing up out there, that's basically where the vast majority of my childhood and most of all this play that we're talking about took place was in Phoenix, Arizona, the Phoenix area.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like we're all going to unite at the Mattel Park. And check out the Castle Grayskull, He-Man, and the Masters of the Universe laser tag. That's going to be amazing. We'll all document it, and hopefully we'll all be able to run into each other and meet up there. That'd be amazing.
That'd be cool. And
that'd be fun.
I'm not gonna lie. At some point, I want to do the Awesome Verse tour, where I literally just get up with some recording equipment. And I just go across the U.S. meeting up with everybody who's been on Toy Frenzy and everything like that. Just trying to, grab as many people along the way as I can and just be like, let's do this thing. Let's roam around and have some He-Man goodness, And I want to kind of I want to get a van, like one of those classic 70s vans with a mural painted on the side, but it'll be all, like Mark Taylor art or something like that on there and just go with it. Everybody will know who I am rolling through. There it is.
That's it right there.
That's exactly it. I got to make that bus a thing.
Do it.
You can pick up Adam on the way.
Yes.
So you guys for the sign off here, I figure I'll give you guys something to talk about the next show or whenever, because it seems to be a really hot in a not good way. I'm excited for it, but just not for tonight because I know we're wrapping up, and I'm leaving this as a cliffhanger for you guys, so that way you guys can carry the conversation on. But Crypt Toys, the NFTs, the Masters of the Universe.
I have my thoughts and feelings about that.
Yeah,
I do too, and I understand both sides of the coin. But I figure that's going to be a fun topic of conversation because nobody knows, and all it is what everyone says everyone has at this moment, opinions and that other thing. So it's, I think it's interesting.
Yeah, we've talked about it a little bit, but we haven't really. We've been a
A
little
little bit.
hesitant. We've been a little bit hesitant to dig deep into that territory because, boy, it's sensitive. You know.
It is,
Yeah.
and that's again why when I found out a little bit more about its origin and where it's I don't know. I am much more acceptant. I don't want to even say acceptant. Much more open and okay. When you start, I don't know.
Yeah.
I personally am excited to see where it goes. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's gonna be a success. I'm
Right.
excited to see where it's going. This is going to be an interesting ride. It's going to set precedent regardless. So that's why I think it's cool.
Yeah. Well, we are kind of witnessing the emergence of an era, perhaps, of a different kind of collecting. So that's why people are freaking out. I understand that. And when we think about, in the problems of plastic, just as one element, then I can see why people would be why this would be a direction that would be interesting to folks. I think it's a good reason to have you back on so we can dig into this a little bit more and have a discussion, especially as more and more information about it comes out and we learn more and more about it. So I hope that maybe sometime early in the new year, late January, February, perhaps, maybe we can have you back on and talk about it a little bit more.
Sure.
We'll know more too by then.
Yeah, and to be fair, you guys, if you haven't, I am not active with Discord at all outside of the Cryptoys channel. That's what got me into it, and that's what kind of excites me about doing this, is that it's forcing me into something new and different that I haven't done and tried. So it's broadening me regardless of whether it's successful or not. I'm learning how to navigate through Discord and understand those things, and they give you a ton of information about what's going on through Discord. And if you just reach out and ask, you are literally talking directly to the main contact and people that are doing this. So
interesting.
It's pretty cool. I've been able to talk to them direct several different times. Sounds
like an enticing conversation. You heard it here, folks. That's a hint at what conversations might come in the future for us here at Toy Frenzy. We'll have MOTU Joe back, and we'll talk about it some more.
I think that'd be a really cool part two to this, being that we were talking about vintage and all of the different merchandise that came out from back in the 80s and stuff, like, a vinyl pop-out tunnel. And then we're going to do a part two talking about potential futures and where it could go. Like we talked about where it was born, where can it grow?
Yeah. Yep. Hopefully not where it dies. Hopefully not where it dies, but maybe what it'll evolve into, right?
That's right.
So, MOTU Joe, for people that are watching that happen upon this show and somehow don't know who you are, where can people find you? And we talked about it at the beginning, but let folks know, just as a quick reminder, what you can offer them.
You can find me several different places. You can find MOTU Joe through Facebook and through YouTube. You can also find me through Retro Rags Limited, through retroraglimited.com, also through mock-masters.com. Both I own and operate both of those companies as passion projects and fun ventures, on top of being MOTU Joe and talking about toys and love He-Man and playing with all that fun stuff. So those are the easiest ways to find me, and it's pretty easy to do so. Just search for the words that Joe Amato can't stand and type in MOTU JOE, and boop, I tend to pop up.
Yeah, cool. That's true. Oz, Bobby, any last thoughts?
I just wanted to mention that our podcast is coming out Monday, our second episode. It's with Oz, of course, and Adam from the Battle Ram blog website. He's on there with us. And we were talking our favorite figures and holiday stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a fun episode. I hope everybody enjoys it. It'll be airing on Monday on YouTube and all the podcast apps everywhere.
Awesome.
Definitely.
It's good stuff.
So I'm going to use a bit of a moment here to plug the other Joe, because this is the tale of two Joes. You can find Joe Amato at Fans of Power on YouTube and Joe Amato Custom Creations on all social media. Definitely, if for some reason, again, you're subscribed to us and you are not following Joe Amato on any of his social media, what's the holdup? Where you been? We're talking about the man who gave us Copycat.
Yep.
Yes.
You know,
Yep.
Copycat. Let's not add that duplicate crap.
That's right.
So
right.
power to you, Joe. Thank you for coming on the show tonight. We appreciate you having been here with us, and of course, you as well, MOTU Joe. It's
Yes.
fabulous, and the fact that you were able to trigger that memory for me, and then that even helped you out in confirming another piece of a collection that it was legit. It
Yeah,
existed.
that's I mean, to whoever asked about the checklist for about, do I it seems to be working pretty good most of the time. So I don't know how I just went, wait, tube, pop out, wait, there's, and yeah, and the fact that I found that in the short time I lost my connection and still got, that's awesome.
That is great.
Yeah.
Little piece of the actual world building of
Yes.
and for Joe Amato's sake, masters of the universe here.
Yes.
We're actually fleshing out that world of merchandise quite a bit more and discovering new pieces even today, really.
That's right.
So thank you both for being here tonight. It has definitely been a pleasure. And thank you again to everybody who's always in the chat and everybody who shows up and watches us here, on Toy Frenzy, on Skele Vader's channel. Thank you for those that are carrying over and following the Powers of Eternia as we continue to do our podcast. And, once a month, we'll be getting together, recording new episodes, as well as, for those guys who have watched this, follow me on my solo channel, and now are even taking my Legions class as we all learn more about Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions. Thank you guys for that. Yes, there it is. So
we do their gear.
Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, we just started recently doing this class once a month on my channel, where we're diving into it because I got hooked. I got the figure obscura, Headless Horseman, and then like the next following week we started talking about Mythic Legions, and now I've got the Barbarian Builder, and I picked up and did the unboxing just this past week for figure obscura Father Christmas. Absolutely loving that guy.
I'm not gonna lie. It's easy to keep quiet. I have no problem doing that, but it's freaking awesome knowing about those things months before everyone else.
Yeah,
It's
right.
got to be fun to know and then see the response.
We have to know in advance to get the gear and the merchandise ready. And actually, for the PowerCon exclusive figures, we had their test paint shots in hand. Like what they were really like. It's freaking awesome. It's awesome.
That I can imagine for sure.
Yeah,
that is great.
And I know we keep trying to sign off, but that's actually another thing I'm about to do is pop my proverbial Mythic Legions cherry in opening and playing with them. I have the homage figures, but I don't consider that I've really done anything with those. I took them out, I posed them, and that's it. They sat there. But I'm going to take one out and play with it. And I'm so excited to do so because I've watched all these friends and everyone around me and all the custom stuff and being involved and going to Legions Con 2 years now. I'm excited to take my half giant and the accessory pack and build one wicked ass figure.
That's right. That's right. It's a lot of fun. Well, we're going to have some news coming up on Legions class coming up on the next episode. We've been talking about some stuff. We'll probably end up plugging it maybe a little bit sooner because, we want to get the rules together for something that we got going on. But I did want to go ahead and say that this weekend, again, Ostradamus Toys Live, we're going to be scrapbooking, folks. So get your supplies ready. You know, this is going to be an interactive one. I want participation from folks while I'm doing this. I may even just go ahead and throw a link out there and see who wants to jump on with me if anybody's available and would like to try.
That's cool.
So that's going to be going on this weekend, absolutely. And next week, 7 days out,
That's
is
right.
going to be the Holiday Frenzy Special.
That's right.
So much like Friendsgiving, we're going to have some guests on, you know, some foundations of the Awesome Verse will be joining us.
Yep.
And we're going to sit around. We're going to spread some holiday cheer. I hear there might be some special fat dude in a red suit showing up. So, you know, but I hear that guy brings great gifts. So, yeah.
Hint.
Yeah.
Has he got a gray beard or is it still brown?
I think he's got a lot of cookie crumbs and other stuff in there. So it might be a little
sucker.
on the brown side. Yeah, well, he's definitely a sucker. I mean, but
can we announce who our special guest next week might be?
Yeah, well, yeah, why not? Well, you know, let's go ahead and do it. Skele Vader, take it away.
I don't even know.
Go ahead, Oz.
So, I mean, of course, we're going to be having Ray from Collecting Classics will be joining us next week, as well as Mega J Retro will be on the channel. As you know, both, you know, been a big help in supporting and promoting the channel, promoting Toy Frenzy pretty much from the beginning. So they will be joining us, as well as I heard Ozzy Claus will be swinging through. Wow. That's OZZYCLAWZ for those who don't know. Ozzy Claus will be coming through and, you know, spreading some Christmas joy. And he's definitely going to be having a present out there for somebody. So definitely tune in and find out what we're going to be on about.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Maybe I'll just dress up as a shitty elf and just come up all pissed off like.
Fantastic. Please.
Oh, come on.
I'm just kidding.
Well, I just want to say thank you all, everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. I want to thank Skele Vader's 3 patrons, GamerBud, Brick Something, and MOTU Origins Cork. Thank you so much for helping support what we do here. And I want to thank MOTU Joe and Joe Amato for being. I'm going to nerd out here, geek out here. You guys have been an inspiration for me when I first started out, rejoining the Masters of the Universe community as an adult collector and maker of things. You guys have been a true inspiration for me, both of you, in a multitude of ways. So thank you both. I'm so glad you were on the show tonight. It means a lot to me. And Oz and Bobby, thank you so much for always being my partners in crime and keeping me propped up so I don't fall asleep. And and I also want to just say for those of you who are interested in, you know, if you're fans of Masters of the Universe, you really believe in the DIY attitude, down below in the information below there is a link. I'm gonna put a link down below for Amato's friend, My Little Plushie. So have a look at that stuff, and then also Ganga has a what's it called again? Where you're raising money. What Kickstarter? A Kickstarter for a Masters of the Universe fan art trading cards project that he's trying to get together. So if you like your fellow Masters of the Universe fan artists and you want to see their artwork in card form, you should go down and check out his Kickstarter. And, you know, do the whole YouTube thing, click like and subscribe and tell your friends about the Skele Vader channel. And I think now we can say goodnight. This has been a great show. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much. We'll do the long. Oh, Bobby the boozing. Okay, yes, exactly, for sure. Bobby the boozing bastard elf. You gotta make that happen, Bobby.
blushing Bobby the boozing bastard.
There you go.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's a lot of alliteration.
I know.
I love it though. I love alliteration. It's
Yeah, me too.
fantastic.
It makes the world go round. All right, guys. Thank you
Have a
so
good one.
much. Have a
Yes,
great
thanks,
night.
everybody.
Take care, everybody.